Let's turn that down. I have asked Santa for a Stream Deck thing, so never know. Might get lucky. But yeah, how is everybody doing? Who's in here? James, how you doing, mate? How you doing? Let's just close some of this down. Let's get that going. And I think we're doing good. I actually managed to start on time this week. Managed to get YouTube live to work with the audio this time, which is good. Hey Chris, how you doing, mate? Wibbly, how you doing? I saw you posted a shot this week, Wibbly. So you tested out that. Was it retouch for me? Is it retouching for me? Is it? That's been out a few years, right? But I only saw something recently. What was it? I think it's Michael Schraller. I know he's a boudoir photographer, and I saw that he'd been using it or testing out. I think that's what it is, and it basically does like the grey layer dodge and burn for you. Is that right? It did seem pretty legit. Although I think in the comments people were saying it was like $150 or something like that. Vlad says, yeah, had a slow day. I'm modelling camera gear, drawer organisers and cat. Okay. Is that for work, Vlad, or is that personal? Hey, Kat, how you doing? Glad you managed to catch the start of the stream this time, Kat. Picks Imperfect. Does he? Really? I only occasionally see any of the Picks Imperfect stuff, but he's a great example of somebody managing to kind of break into any industry that you think is saturated from the outside, right? Because like Photoshop tutorials on YouTube, right? I mean, who would ever think that you could try and break into that when there is probably thousands of them out there? But he just came in and just started, banging away at them, and he's just stratospheric rise of success that he had on YouTube in a seemingly closed off market. Yeah, fair play to him. Plus, it's for me probably turn into content as well. I mean, yeah. Everything now is when you get to this stage, Vlad, where it's difficult to get your head around or out of that space of like, oh, this could be content. I was doing something the other day, or testing out some bits. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could turn this into a Technique Tuesday. It's like everything just becomes this. It's a kind of a bad habit. Yeah. Woodley says I got a deal with Black Friday, so around £60 for each download. Okay, 60. I mean, that's okay. That's not bad. So you've just literally just had it, or you had it a year or so, or yeah. I think about YouTube Live and stuff as well. Yeah. I gotta say, yeah, the short video that I saw on it, I was impressed. Yeah, I mean about 2 weeks. Okay, so you've only had it a little bit, yeah. Because in theory, right, those of you that don't know what this kind of plugin action, whatever it is I think it's a plugin, right? And what it does is it generates a grey layer and then adds kind of painted like elements, so dark elements where the light is and light where the dark is. For example, like a pimple, right? Like a light hits it from one side, it's got light on that side and shadow on the other side. So what this does is it analyzes the whole image, works out which bits are more important, i.e. the skin, and then does the kind of dodge and burn, like the inverse dodge and burn that we would normally do in retouching. But actually pretty impressive. What was it called? Probably Retouch for me, right? 4 as in the number. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let me just see if I can pop this chat window out. Let's have a look. Give me 2 seconds. Retouch. The clean is pretty good, but it's very tweakable. When you're like, okay, gotcha. Is it retouch for me, Wibbly? Retouch for me. I think this is it, right? I've never been onto the website before, but oh yeah, here come the bots. Retouched by AI, untouched by humans. That's not really a great selling point. That's what I'm, in fact. Let me just turn this music on. Off, even. Okay, so let's have a look. So which one is it? The one that tones down highlights on skin, skin mask, select skin in one click, color match, fabric, white teeth, skin tone, evens out skin tone but automatically identifying average skin tone, adjusting skin to that color. Jesus Christ. Which one is it? You can download a demo but can't see the resulting. Oh really? Okay. Yeah, I got the clean and dodge and burn versions. Okay. So clean, not clean backdrop though, right? Skin mask, skin tone. So I wonder, so they are, and you had to download a plugin to actually, so it's not just using actions within Photoshop, right? Okay, I don't want that to look very good. I'll have to have a look. This one, I tell you what, this one would be of interest. I have been caught in the past by, or are they just using some sort of frequency separation on that to get rid of? Oh, they are just, yeah, they're just frequency separating it. Okay. I hate cleaning like clothing. I had a shoot the other day. Sometimes you just gotta go with it. So that one is, they're actually running a okay, I'll have to have a look. Yeah, mattifier. It's running a highlight, select highlight and remove. Okay. Yeah. Has anybody else used this? Anybody else even heard of this? I literally heard of it today, which is kind of weird because Wibbly posted an image in the share a shoot, and I was like literally going, okay, that's nuts. I literally heard of that today. It's crazy. Yeah. And yeah, I'll have a look to see which ones that they were using, but especially producing a grey layer, which is kind of nuts. Yeah, I got the clean judgment. No, but you can do the background download. Okay, yeah, download kicks off the virus warning. Big time though. Really? Those previews look a bit plastic. Yeah, like yeah. And to be fair, like the kind of preview that I saw of it, he was like going, yeah, you want to knock this, because it spits out a separate grey layer, which is cool. So you can just reduce the opacity separately. So yeah, I mean, even he was saying like, yeah, you want to dial it down to like 50-60%, but yeah. Yeah, actually, might have a look at that. Yeah, I won't get into it now though. But there's got to be so many of these. Yeah, there's got to be so many. I was just kind of interested that it was spitting out separate layers that you could use afterwards, which I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah. Right. Welcome to those of you just tuning in. What we're doing here tonight, every couple of weeks we do a live stream, and in the live stream we usually chat about something for like an hour, and then we go into looking at your images, giving some feedback and that sort of stuff on your shots. So if you wanted to share an image, then you can do so on last night's post on my Facebook page here. Okay, so if you good start. If you missed it last night and you wanted to post an image, then you can do. Just go down to the comments and just pop an image in here. Dung Alex is obviously just posting more than one. Try and keep it to one. Alex. It's just like, hang on a minute, this is way more than there was a minute ago. Alex is just getting his portfolio up there. Okay, we got some good stuff. Loads of good stuff. Yeah. I mean, as always. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the one that you were trying it on, Wibbly. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, post it in there. We've got some interesting stuff here. I didn't see that one a minute ago. This is cool. Yeah, real cool. Good stuff. Yeah, so we'll have a look at those in a minute. And yeah, today, we'll just have a little bit of a chat about some inspiration, right? Just looking at some work that I find inspiring. I'd be interested to hear what you guys find inspiring. Reason being is that the last stream we did was a little bit not doom and gloom. We were definitely having a discussion that led on to me them putting together an article basically on the which I shared last week. I think it was like the slow death of creativity in modern photography or something like that. So I just thought let's keep it positive tonight. Do our best. So yeah, this was the article that I posted last week. Now it is it's a 20-minute read or whatever it is. My dissertation was shorter than this, but it was interesting to put out there. And I must say, look, huge thanks to everybody that took the time to read this monster piece and obviously comment, because it was I actually wasn't going to post it, and the reason I wasn't going to post it is because it was kind of just my thoughts on a page that I kind of needed to get out there. And towards the end of the article, I actually talk about people needing to just take chances and put work out there, regardless of whether they think it's going to get likes or not. So I was like, well, I better take my own advice and just put it out there. But it was great actually. It was actually really successful piece in terms of the amount of people who chimed in with their thoughts and comments. And look, this is why I still use Facebook, right? This is the reason I still use Facebook. Right here is to have these conversations with you guys and discuss things like this, because it's not it's great to get the likes and emojis and all that sort of stuff, but let's be honest, in reality it's far better to have some kind of engaging back and forth with people. So it was huge to see this being so popular, and to get people's different opinions, and not everybody agreed with me, and I wouldn't expect them to. People had different ideas of what creativity means to them, as it should do. But so I just kind of wanted to say thanks for checking it out, because I very nearly didn't post it, but I'm glad I did. And so what he's saying, he's talking about the action. It's pretty good. You can knock it back. Brilliant for dodge and burn, and it does a great job for balancing out shadows. Gotcha. Yeah. RTFQ. What the fuck is RTFQ? I'm pretty sure you could form a band of nerds around you, or whatever your platform you pick instead of Facebook. Well, it's true. I mean, because that's what people have gone to Discord, right? A lot of the cool kids have gone to Discord, and that's fine. It's just something else, isn't it? It is just something else. And I think some people have managed to make the transition, and I've certainly seen many pages not make the transition. I think ProEDU was a good example. They tried to get everybody from Facebook. They had an incredible community there, and they tried to get everybody over onto Discord, and it just never happened. So thank you, Vlado. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah. And yeah, it is I was chatting to the okay, long story short, the reason this article even came about was because the director of my original RGG EDU Gels film, right, which is what, 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I went over to the US and filmed that, and the director over there, a guy called Sean Kirkland, awesome guy, yeah, really really good, absolute genius at what he does, and he kind of reached out on Instagram, was like, hey, how you doing, that sort of stuff. We just got chatting, and then we were just, he was like, as he is, he's always putting questions out and that sort of stuff, and he's like, name one good thing that came out of the pandemic for you, and one bad thing, work wise and that sort of stuff. And like, the good thing was that I was able to pivot and start doing online education, which has been great. It's been super successful. But the negative thing, for me, which has been banging around in my head, was this kind of homogenization of knowledge, like this disposable knowledge almost that YouTube and the algorithm around that had created, and that's what kind of spawned this article. So yeah, it is putting stuff out there, and like he said, people, I'm glad you did post it, because we had a follow-up video call, and he's like, I'm glad you did post it, because I think it is something that needs to be out there, and I sent it to a bunch of other creatives as well and got their feedback. But yeah, thanks for checking out. I think it'd be fun to jump on Discord, voice room with a few people around here and just do once a week. Yeah, that is a really good point, Vlad. Yeah, that is something that I think would be good. I've tried to think about some way to have more of a discussion with people, like voice wise, on this, or doing this live stream and that sort of stuff. And your Discord is probably a good way of doing it. I don't know the percentage of people that actually have it and use it in my community of, there are people, most, I would say a lot of people who follow my work tend to be a little bit older and maybe not using Discord. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll give it some thought. But I did always want to try and get people in, just like have chat with fellow photographers, get them in and get you guys, just to have more of a informal conversation about things, because I think that there's a lot to be gained from it, especially when it's live and you guys can interact with it as well. But yeah, maybe it's something I'll think about. Okay, so before we get into inspo and that sort of stuff, let's have a quick chat about some of the bits in the news and that sort of thing recently. Any products or bits that have come across my desk, and you guys have sent me a ton, actually. Yeah, you guys have sent me a ton of links and stuff in the last couple of weeks, and thank you for doing that. I know Vlad, Steve, Wayne, yeah, like a bunch of you keep sending me useful links for me to have a look at. So that's great. So let's just go over a couple of those that we got here. So this was a couple of weeks ago now, but Kodak finally launches Super 8 camera, shown off for 2016 for 10x the price. So they kind of said that they're going to remake this Super 8 camera, right? And they announced it like back in 2016, and at the time it was going to be what, $700 or something like that. Say the price would be between $400 and $750. So this was back then in 2016, right? Developing the film would cost $50 to $75 per cartridge, and standard Super 8 cartridge holds around 50 feet, 15 meters of film, 2.5 minutes of footage. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I was like, do you know what? That would be super cool. I would, I appreciate it's not going to be for everybody. That is a pretty niche product, but there is a certain quality to the Super 8 that is very, very difficult to replicate, really. And I was like, do you know what? Kind of interested. Now this rolls around now, and if they've quoted it at $5,500, which is like, I don't know whether they've got some guy from Leica doing the new marketing, or I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I mean, that's just crazy price. So the company does not appear to have posted updated pricing on the film development, but I bet it won't be 50 to 75 like it used to be. So I mean, like, that's not cheap beforehand, right? When you think about it, 2.5 minutes for whatever it is, $70 a footage. That was not cheap, but I think that if it had been at this lower point, even $1,000, I think they would have sold a bunch, and with more people potentially using it, the price of the film dev would come down, yada yada yada. But yeah, I mean, it's just nobody's buying it for that sort of price, right? That's just crazy talk, yeah. By my Twitter NFT experience, people are more than happy to use something like a Zoom call where you just hand people a link, but Discord has many more features. Oh really? Oh, so you're doing that in there, are you? So you're using Twitter. Not, are you still doing it? Like, are people still using NFTs or trying to push NFTs? Is that still going? Super 8 is the equivalent of the old 2-megapixel pocket camera, but all organic. Yeah, basically. Is that what it comes to? It's not even 2 megapixel, is it? I don't even think it's that. It's tiny. It's minuscule. Yeah. There's another AI program we're looking at, Jake, called Magnific AI. You can upload images and get AI variations. Really? I've not seen that one. Magnific AI. Is it one of these X-rated, not safe for work ones? What's it called? I've already forgotten it. The image upscaler. So, okay, so this is what? So it's looking at this. It's kind of interesting that it's degraded those leaves, but anyway. There you go, look. Screw up your gel shot. I'll sort it out for you. So what's it doing? So it's up-resing shots. Interesting. So I may be about interesting. Okay. So I think I saw something like this. Oh, I see. This is what people are using to turn AI images into photos. Yeah, gotcha. Anubis, how you doing, mate? People are still doing it. Off the bandwagon more than he's mostly Twitter voice stream. Okay, yeah. So you're no longer doing the NFTs. Yeah, I mean that died a hard death, right? I mean there was a bunch of people who made an absolute mint screwing over other people, but yeah. Interesting idea. That is an interesting idea. So what it's doing is, so like this is, I presume, like an AI image, and then you give it to this, and then it's using its own technology to kind of upscale it and add more detail in. So it's kind of a clever combination. Now it's interesting that you mentioned that, and we'll come back to that in a second. So I think it was Steve sent me this. So Practique is a well-known retoucher. He's got a separate account here called Futurist AI. So this is what, from Midjourney, I think. Yeah, Midjourney and that sort of thing. And then he's buzzed it through this. Okay, so this is the new up-resed one, whatever you want to call it, right? And that's using that program again as well. So look, this is the AI one, right? Looks a bit plasticky, yeah. And then I'll read it in a second. I haven't read it, and then he's buzzing it through something like what Wibbly's probably suggesting here. That would be my guess. Maybe he talks about it here. AI has reached a new benchmark for realism. Look at the last image I shared and come back to this one, which is what we're doing, right? So the last image is that one. Renee Robin showed me. That's it. Magnific AI. That's exactly it. Okay, so that's what they're using. Interesting. Okay, so they're buzzing AI images into Magnific here, and then it's adding all that extra detail. Okay. just to be clear, that is an AI image. Yeah, just in case anybody was like, ooh, you know, AI. So this is the AI image, right, that you are probably familiar with seeing, that we all go, oh my god, yeah, it's obviously AI, right? And then let me show you what that's, yeah? And then buzzing it through that. I mean, that is kind of nuts, right? I mean, there's no denying that Magnific is doing a ton there. Interesting. Okay. So that's the latest trend, is it? Okay. Well done, Wibbly. Good shout, mate. Good shout. It's web-based. Okay. Up resolution, but also alters it. Hey, David, mate. How you doing? Yeah. I mean, does anybody use this, or is it like, is this something? Because this is the AI that we're used to seeing, right? I mean, buzzing it through that is, I mean, come on. I mean, we thought it was good before, right? Oh, Steve sent this to me. Yeah. The old classic, is photography dead? Steve's just baiting people in chat there. So this was something that kind of erupted as well in the press, because this was going around as well. In fact, this was going around so much to the point that a journalist reached out to me and was like, "Would you care to comment on this?" And you know, my kind of response was, so let me just tell you what this is. So meet the first Spanish AI model earning up to 10,000 euros a month. So what he's basically saying here, they've created this young lady based off of, you know, trends, and you know, they've given reasons for why she's got pink hair and the way she looks and all that sort of stuff as well, yada yada yada, and that sort of thing. Now, I said to the journalist, I said, look, this is like, AI models have been around for, you know, for years, and you know, the twofold is obviously she's going to be taking away, you know, work from other people, all that sort of stuff, and you know, people are worrying about, oh well, you don't need photographers, like Steve was saying in the comments there, and all that sort of thing. And yeah, you know, I mean, like, you know, you're right. I think you have to remember that those of us that are old enough to remember this, back in the mid-90s, we all said that photography was dead thanks to stock imagery, right? And this was a big deal back then. Anybody who's old enough and was working back then, it was a big deal, right? I'm sorry, not the 90s, but like these sort of early 2000s. Like stock photography was just everywhere. So all anybody was talking about, all photographers were just like down in tools and just heading into their basements to photograph just any crap they could possibly find, upload it to stock libraries and all that sort of thing. And at the time we were like, well, this is the end. Like this is the end. You can't compete with that. They're selling images there, you know. And at the time it was like £100 for an image, and we were like, oh my god, it's just so unbelievably cheap. Like, how, this is ridiculous. I mean, you can get them for couple of dollars now. In fact, you can get incredible images for free. The reason, like on what was it called, Unsplash is a good example, right? So you know, stock photography sort of killed themselves because they, you know, it was this race to the bottom, right, of stock photography. And at the time, we were, you know, people were selling images for $300, $100, and we were like, oh my god, that's so cheap. Little did we know that, you know, the price of stock photography would just continue to just plummet and absolutely bottom out. And you know, now we're at the point where you can get whatever you want, like, you know, beach sunset, and these are real images. This is not AI. We're not even talking about AI, right? So you can, and all of these are copyright free, right? You can use these on commercial whatever commercial shoots, use them as often as you want, do what you want with them, change them, manipulate them, do whatever you want with them. And this is just one site, and and they're all free, right? This is not like all cheap, they're free. And this was kind of my argument as well, that I think we're going to seeing a similar sort of thing with AI now. Everybody's screaming and shouting about it, and I do think that there's always going to be people who are going to want to pay for unique work. I do think that people are still always going to want to be paying for unique work. They don't want some stock image, that everybody else has got. And I've used like a couple of those stock images for my education bits. Right, I'm teaching about a subject, and I'll go cool, boom, 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 grab an image, and it doesn't take long before you start seeing that image elsewhere. You're just like, oh my god, So it's you can use it, but it doesn't take long for you to start feeling bad about the fact, oh well, other people are using that image as well. And my guess is that these guys, and this is what I said to the journalist the other day. I said, this is AI, and everybody's going, oh my god, AI's never looked so good. And I said to him, I guarantee you that's not just AI. They've spent time working on that as well, and now we know that. I mean, like the look of it that they on some of these images looks exactly like the exactly like the processing that this is doing to it, right? So yeah, that's exactly what that is. They've just leveraged this, I was about to say it's an interesting article. It's not really. It's just them saying that they've created this AI influencer that is always available, and never lets you down, and doesn't have any views of her own. She's not going to start talking about religion that you don't like. She's not going to have a political party that you don't agree with. Like she's totally neutral when it comes to promoting your product. Kind of weird, right? It's gone to this very it's gone so far safe with it, that it's like we may as well just get a bot to advertise our product, so she doesn't have any opinions on anything. It's kind of weird to me. $39 a month for this toy. Shit, what toy? What did I miss? $39 for what? You can tell it how close you want the resemblance to the original photo. Oh, okay, so on that Magnific or whatever it is, you can dial it in. Kind of pricey if you ask me, but we'd love to try out a few. Oh, this Magnific costs 30 bucks, is it? Interesting. So how much is Midjourney a month now? I mean, Midjourney's 30. We used to be 35 quid a month, right? I do kind of like I can't deny the fact that I mean, look, I want to hate it, but I mean you can't, right? I mean it's doing some cool stuff. Especially since you can dial in the amount of detail you want. It's kind of nuts. I mean, it already looks good before, right? And then you just boom. Shit, man. That's cool, man. That is cool. Yeah. Yeah. Fair play to them. So I wonder if that is just a downscaled image. I mean, look at the roof, right? I wonder if this is just a purposefully downscaled image. A little bit soft, or is it AI? And look at the roof. Just puts in all that extra detail. Kind of nuts, man. Kind of nuts. You just never trust anything ever again. But like you say, Vlad, it would be interesting to buzz some photos through it and see what it does. What is this madness? Man, I thought my Nikon was shit. Look at how soft that is. Interesting. Well, okay, yeah, that is definitely how they've done that. So this I find kind of interesting. I'm sure that Instagram suppresses this, right? Because Praktik is very very well known. He's very reputable retoucher, and 15,000 followers on that. But these, like, nobody is seeing these shots. Nobody is seeing them. It would be my assumption, right, that Instagram is heavily suppressing images like this, because there's no way that Praktik is getting, low. So back here, before before the algorithm kicked in, he was getting some decent numbers. But yeah, right. I mean, look, I think it's definitely squashing it. Yeah, I think it's definitely squashing it. That would be my guess. I mean, yeah, 40 quid. I mean, that's $40. So I mean, yeah, 30 quid. But still, like, if you're using it, even if you're using it a few times a day or for a major project. I mean, the other benefit of these things is that you can just, I need it for a project, and I could just rent it for a month and then ditch it, right? So, and then buzz some stuff through. I mean, there's probably a limit on what you can do each month, but still, you can sort of piecemeal it, so it's fine. Yeah. Almost doing the reverse of retouching plugins you looked at before. That's so true, Stuart. Yeah, it is absolutely. Yeah, that is weird. That is exactly what it's doing. It's literally the inverse of what we originally looked at. Well, what a state we're in. Yeah. AI model, but they have Photoshopped open there, probably to fix the AI fails. I agree, Vlad. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Oh, and I would say that my guess is that they've used this, hence why it's kind of, erupted, because she looks so real, and it's probably because of this. Yeah, yeah. It'd be fun to put images back and forward to see what happens. Yeah, exactly. Here you go. Soften this for me, and then give me the details back. Yeah. It's the OnlyFans AI girl. It is. I didn't realize she had OnlyFans. Is it OnlyFans? Is it, Dave? Because the way that article portrays her is she is all. I've lost it now. Yeah, the way that article portrays her as she is an influencer. Managed to gain 121. Oh, FanView, a similar platform. Okay, so she is doing the underwear stuff to FanView. There you go. I'm out of the loop. I haven't heard FanView. Who's using OnlyFans anymore? Okay. Yeah. I think it would be cool for compositing stuff as it creates detail for AI components. I mean, yeah. I mean, what a tool, right? I mean, what an incredible tool. If you're building composites, especially for backgrounds and that sort of stuff, it's nuts. Yeah, well, I mean, such a fantastic tool. I mean, they've done phenomenal job with that. So thank you for highlighting that, Wibbly. And I kind of saw that Praktik was talking about it, and I wanted to look at that. So it's kind of spot on that you mentioned it just as we opened it up. But yeah, what an amazing tool. Yeah, if you're doing backgrounds and composites and that sort of stuff, especially with AI. I mean, if you're using AI, this is an absolute no-brainer, right? It's just, yeah, absolute no-brainer. And to think we all bitched and moaned at $10 a month for Photoshop. How to fix over retouched images. I mean, that's exactly right, David. Yeah, I mean, that's like, yeah, I mean, there's certainly a bunch of over retouched images that you could probably make super realistic. Yeah, I mean, this is killing retouching, right? More than photography, to a certain extent. I don't know. That's kind of nuts. Yeah. I think you can screenshot an image on your phone and then build up the detail and upscale them. So you think that? So I mean, this was. I mean, like when I opened it up, it seemed to be one of its things was upscaling. Yeah. So my kind of guess would be that when they started out on this journey, it was probably to upscale. That would be that would have been their target goal at the time, and then they realized that in the process of doing that, they could probably get this AI to actually just add detail at the same size, which is actually kind of nuts. Yeah. I wonder if that did grow out of control to what they thought. Yeah. 200 images for $40 a month. I mean, if you had a couple of jobs that you needed doing, whatever you were doing, I mean, 200 images is loads. That's absolutely loads. Yeah, that's way more than you. Yeah. So if you just wanted to save them up and just buy it for a month, yeah, I could definitely see that. AI isn't allowed on OnlyFans. She's an alternate platform. Oh, is that why, David? Is that why she's not allowed on OnlyFans? Oh, hey, more you know. Right, that's why she was on. What was it? New View or something? Fan View. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Well, I mean, look. At least they got the dignity to actually be honest about it and say that she isn't real. But then I guess that's their kind of selling point, right? That's the USP, is the fact that this model never ages. Yeah. Influence. Hey Damien, mate, how you doing? Thanks for joining us, buddy. No. Yeah, exactly. I know, but yeah, we've got to be careful. Yeah. I think this AI was made by a modeling agency that almost got bankrupt, didn't have money to afford real models, and apparently they are now printing 10K a month. That's the story, Anubhav. Yeah, and like I said, those of you that missed it, a journalist reached out to me the other day and was like, Jake, would you care to comment on this article? And in short, I just said, look, this is new. These things have been around for many, many years. Some of them have got hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and all that sort of thing, and many of them you don't even know that they're AI. My concern, like one of the most famous ones has been around for like 6 years or something now, and surprise, surprise, she hasn't aged a day, right? And my concern is the impact that has on people growing up seeing that. You talk about unachievable body expectations and all that sort of stuff. Like, these people literally do not age, and I think it's okay as long as you know that it's AI, and at least these people are owning it, and that's their, like I said, USP. Fine, but there is many of these girls out there, AI girls out there, that people do not know that they're AI, and you can see it in the comments. It's so cringe. It's terrifying. But yeah. Not sure if it will kill retouching. I follow Pratique and I've purchased his retouching courses. Old school. Yeah, I mean, that is true, Wibbly, but then you did also just buy that action to kind of save you time as well. So yeah, you're not wrong. You are absolutely doing it. You are still doing it. You are still retouching your images, and you're using this plugin or whatever it is to do it as well. I'm no shade. I was genuinely looking at it myself, and I was going, the fact that it is so adjustable, I was like, I'm in a fortunate position where I don't have to churn out 50, 300 images or anything like that. I'm not I don't shoot weddings or anything like that. So the images that I retouch are like, like something like 5 to 15 or something like that, right? So it's a small number, and it's going to be difficult for me to ever relinquish complete control of that. And it's just like everybody says, oh, Jake, you should use an external retoucher. I mean, where do we draw the line, right? Where do we go? Oh no, some other stranger retouching it is better than AI or this action, right? I mean, the fact that you're using an action to do it, or AI to retouch your images, is that somehow less control than you getting another human to do it? I don't know. Like, because that human is doing their own thing on that retouched image, and it's kind of like the argument that I've always had about external retouchers. Everybody always says, why don't you use them? And the reason I don't use them is because I think that the retouching part is integral to the final look, and just farming that out to somebody or an algorithm is just, it's no longer going to be my work, It's because I'm lazy and don't make money from it. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's it, man. It's just, you don't want to be sat at your computer for 2 hours retouching an image. Of course you don't. You don't want to be taking more images. I totally get that. Absolutely. Yeah. So I think from that point of view, it makes total sense, right? Absolutely. Yeah. There are nudes of that pink-haired influencer influencing and so she is doing nudes then, Dave, is she? So on this, because in here it goes, lingerie at whatever it is, new view, or Christ, I've already forgotten what it is, fan view, or whatever it is, the new place. But yeah. So right, but she's doing even more than that. So these guys are really cashing in, or cashing out, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It's just crazy that things are changing at such a pace. I mean, yeah, I know, but yeah, it is nuts. Yeah, it is crazy how fast it is. And then coming on to the AI thing, and in terms of photography, where does that kind of leave us? And when this AI thing kicked off a couple of years ago, a good friend of mine works fairly high up in Google, very, very smart guy. And he initially said back then, he's like, I could see raw files becoming part of the blockchain, essentially meaning that we could get to a point where we would need to prove the authenticity of raw files in terms of ownership and all that sort of stuff, right? Where do we draw the line on that as well? How do we say that this is a real file? Where are we drawing the line on it? And he mentioned, back then, he's like, I could see a point where raw files end up on the blockchain. Now, this is real early, and he sent this to me. Sony Electronics and the Associated Press complete testing of an advanced in-camera authenticity technology to address growing concerns around fake imagery. New in-camera signature solution attaches digital certificate to photos at the point of capture to certify legitimacy. So, and this is some tech, speak here, but essentially, fake and manipulated images are a major concern of news organizations. Not only do they contribute to mis and disinformation, but ultimately they erode the public's trust in factually accurate imagery. I mean, this is it, right? This is huge. Like, this is the core of for me. Like, this is the core of it. I don't have a problem with AI imagery. Like, you crack on. Like, same as I don't have a problem with people who paint watercolors, right? It doesn't make any difference to me. The problem I have is when they try and sort of palm them off as being real or being something that they're not, right? That is then a concern, not only for young girls or boys in terms of growing up and body imagery and all that sort of stuff, but actual news, right? I mean, like, I kind of joked, like, you can never trust an image again, and this is the issue that they're at now in the news and the press and that sort of stuff, especially when at some point when some press actually use user-generated content for their news, right? People are there on the scene and that sort of stuff, and people submitting news stories because they're there, right? You don't have to send anybody there. They can get the news stories. Everybody's got a phone in their pocket. It was a clever idea, but now, like, some of the press and newspapers and all that sort of stuff, the news outlets who were in that situation at the time were like, cool, we can harvest data from every monkey with a camera in his pocket. Now it's got to the point where they're like, hang on, we don't know what we're being sent, right? So fake and manipulated images are a major concern for news organizations. Not only do they contribute to mis and disinformation, but ultimately they erode the public's trust in factually accurate imagery. And this is the core that I think that we are going to have to overcome, in the coming years with this. Like, if you want to jerk off to some AI bot with pink hair, crack on. It makes a difference to me. But I think that it has severe implications when we start to distrust every image that we see. Sony and AP's most recent field test was completed in October of 2023. In this month-long test, both captured authentication and workflow process were evaluated. To accomplish, Sony partnered with CameraBits, the company behind industry-standard workflow tool Photomechanic, alongside Sony and AP CameraBits, created technology in Photomechanic that preserves the camera's digital signature all the way through the metadata editing process. So this is something that we need to keep an eye on as well. Like, how on earth are they doing that, right? Without it kind of being, without it being, if you don't know, the blockchain purely works because it has, hundreds, if not thousands, of points of data to say what it is at any given time, right? Like, how do we stop an image from being adjusted and changed? And they obviously feel like they've got to a point now where they can apply this. We appreciate the significant challenge that manipulated imagery poses for our partners, and we are highly motivated to play a role in help solving that. I mean, yeah, I think if you could solve this, I think you're into an absolute bankload of cash. Yeah. Photomechanic has been used by photojournalism industry for 25 years and continues to evolve as the industry introduces new technology. We are committed to ensuring Photomechanic remains a trusted and authentic workflow solution. Sony's new in-camera signature and C2PA authentication is planned for release in a firmware update in the newly announced Alpha 9.3, Alpha 1, Alpha 7S3 in spring of 2024. So look, I mean, this is not science fiction, right? They are looking to put this in their cameras in the I mean, that's in what, like in 6 months, which is like, early to mid next year. So we'll start to see how this rolls out and how it actually works. But I think it'll be something to definitely keep our eyes on. I mean, hell, I may even get Sony. If they're doing something useful, then let's have a look. It's laughable how they are trying to present that as something else. Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. Every monkey with some Photoshop skills couldn't trick the press so far. This is it, Vlad. Yeah, and this is no disrespect to the journalist that reached out. But I was like, this has been an issue for years. This is not something that's new. So I was kind of interested as to why this particular lady was catching news. I guess maybe because she just looks so unbelievably real thanks to that Magnifique or whatever it is. If only they had decent metadata for our DNGs and JPEGs before all this. Yeah, oh boy, that's what I'm getting in the long-awaited firmware update. Good grief, Sony. I don't know. We shall have to see. If anybody's interested in reading that for themselves, by all means, take a look. But yeah, thank you to James for passing that my way, because I'll be honest with you, have you guys heard of this? Like, this is like, I thought this was huge news to me, and like, he sent it to me, but I haven't seen it anywhere else. I haven't seen anybody talking about this. Granted, I'm not on the pulse of modern camera technology, but still, I would have thought I would have seen a bunch of people talking about this, especially seeing as they have just wrapped up their completed their tests 2023, and it's coming out in 6 months. Fair play for pulling the trigger on that. I would say that Pink Lady is making dollars because of boobs. I mean, yeah, she like, it's funny hearing in that article. I just kind of skim read it, but it's funny them defending why she looks like that. It's not our fault, guys. We're just following the algorithm. That's what people love. Like, that's why we made her. We're just looking at what was trending, and this is why we made it. It's not our fault. Don't blame the player, blame the game. Like, I get it, right? The biggest problem is many members of the public just believe any crap that is posted on social media these days is a cultural problem rather than a technical one. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. How do we kind of leverage that? I mean, and we've deep fakes, right? That's been going on for years and years and years, and even before that, voices and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so oh yeah, have a look at that in a minute. It's kind of interesting. So just before we get into that, just lastly to wrap up some of this. So we're chatting to Vlad about this earlier on. I think Wayne sent this one to me as well. This is kind of interesting, and we used to do this when we were kids. We used to pull these. These are the old. I don't have an image of them. The old disposable cameras. Remember the old disposable cameras? Like my mum still uses them. And I'd be like, this is not. So the old disposable cameras that you just used to buy for a fiver, shoot once, and then they would throw it away. I used to work in a photo lab like 20 years ago. We used to get hundreds of these things through, and yeah, we would occasionally salvage them for parts, or because they all came with batteries, so we had all the batteries out, and we just had hundreds of batteries, and these are the lenses that are from those disposable cameras, right? These crappy little lenses, and I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting because, like, I didn't actually hate some of the shots that were coming out of these. Like, mate, love it. Get that. Any Leica users out there, please let me know how this works. Yeah. But yeah, you can take a look at some of the shots. I didn't actually mind some of the images, like especially in some of the highlights. I thought was really nice, which is just, I don't know, maybe it's just nostalgia, and I don't know why they're all in black and white, but yeah, something that I thought was funny. So they've just basically removed the lens from the old cameras, and then they've basically made custom lens caps, and they just screw into your body of your camera. I just thought I'd share. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. No, I agree, Vlad. Yeah, I do. Like, there is something special about that kind of look that I know everybody is desperately trying to get away from today. But it is an interesting nostalgic look for sure. Yeah, have a look on there. They got some really nice shots that I think shows potential. Yeah. I still think it only works on mirrorless. Well, I mean, you could be right, mate. Yeah, you could be right. I remember using it, but just because the hole is so small, that's what that's what kind of focuses it. As long as it's at the right distance, and maybe they've adjusted these lens caps to be at different depths, but it doesn't look like it. Although the Leica is reset as opposed to the Nikon, which is further out. Oh, maybe they are different depths. Yeah, for the height thing. But yeah, no, we've certainly used them on old cameras and stuff before. Yeah. They have a list up there of. It's true. Yeah, you are right. They are quoting the actual mirrorless ones. Yeah. I'd have to try it. Like I said, I know we did it on our old cameras, but I assume we were just jerry rigging the old aperture, because it was such a small hole, so it was focusing by default, sort of thing. Yeah, you're right, Vlad. Yeah, they are. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to chat about some inspiration and that sort of thing here, and some ideas, and I think Wayne sent this to me, which I thought was kind of cool. So this young lady was, I think she did like every day, like 30 every day or something like that. She's just getting like super creative with these. It was nuts, yeah. And I thought it was a really cool project that she did, and she absolutely nailed it. And I think it was something that we used to do a lot of this sort of thing when we were younger. You'd shoot a lot of this sort of stuff, which was just shooting just random kind of crap, an idea or whatever it was, and you just do tons and tons of images. And I think now we're also focused on this kind of perfect image every time that we can get lost with it, myself included. So for 31 days I styled, photographed, and modeled and edited a self-portrait for Halloween. 31 days, like, fair play. But I mean, people do the 365 project, right? Where you're taking an image every day, and that's hard enough. But I think this, where you're actually creating a shoot for, like, some really cool ideas in there. Yeah, some really clever stuff. But actually creating a shoot every day is far more involved than just the 365 thing. Although some of the 365 projects are very involved. But yeah. If Tumblr was still active, you would be its ruler. Savage, man. Yeah, I just thought it was, really impressive and absolutely fair play to her. Yeah. Okay. I know there's a pinhole 3D model for the Nikon crop bodies. I'm curious if I could rework it into this. Yeah, we used to shoot pinholes. We used to you just cut like a section out of a Coke can and just put a pin through it. And you need some very fine sandpaper, like almost it's super fine. And then you just burnish that pinprick in the Coke can down, and then we just put that on the body cap, right? We cut a hole in the body cap, and that works because you can put photographic paper in there, which is what we've done. We've just stuffed photographic paper in there, and you can even get shots like that. We even did it with Polaroids, the OG, like the original Polaroids, where you would have like the square, like the Polaroid 600s, I think it was. So you had like the chemicals in the front, in the little, that white square that you hold on to. That's where all the chemicals are that get squashed out. So we would disassemble like the pack of Polaroid, and you basically use that as your film, right? And I remember using pinholes with that. Then you'd put that, this is in the dark, then you'd put that back into the Polaroid pack, push it into the camera, and then it would spit it out and dev the film for you. So you can get some beautiful shots like that, gorgeous shots. Because like we discussed a couple of live streams ago, that the Polaroid look isn't down to the lens. The new Polaroid camera looks just like the old one, just at 8 times the price, because it's not the lens that does it, it's the actual film. Like we were talking about the halation or whatever it was, the light bouncing off the film. So you get some gorgeous shots with that old Polaroid film. You need to have a little bit of an idea of what you're doing, but it's not super expensive to kind of play with it. Yeah. It'd be fun to do this project with a model, but I'm saying that just because I'm bored of self-portraits. I mean, yeah, you do a lot of self-portraits, Vlad. Yeah, so I mean, you kind of know what it's like working with you, because it's difficult. It's super difficult to photograph yourself. Super difficult. I mean, we used to, when we were art college, we used to use each other, so it was kind of a bit easier. We would be playing around, practicing on each other. But yeah, it is difficult when you're doing it as a self-portrait. Yeah. Kat says, yeah, true. When we were young, we were just like exploring randomly and could find out some cool things by mistake. That's it, Kat. Yeah, it is. There was a ton of that. There was loads of just like making modifiers out of cereal boxes and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know, it just feels wrong to do that now. I don't know why. But yeah, it would be. I mean, like I said, I'm not. I know I'm being very nostalgic here. Reminiscing, but I mean, our college was nuts. Like some of the projects that people would get up to that you'd be involved in, it was just crazy. And again, it was just like people. I remember they were trying to, because we were shooting on film back in the day, so it was like you just have to be. He was trying to get a shot. So he was trying to do this was before the Matrix, but this guy was trying to do, it was medium format. He was trying to do me jumping down the stairs, but have a camera at like 4 different points and shoot that simultaneously. But he had it rigged up with wires to trigger everything at the same time, and he had it was tinfoil like connecting the wires to batteries to boost the signal at distance, all that sort of stuff. And he's just way more creative back then than I am now. I don't know why that's kind of happened, but it just kind of does. As we get older, we try and be productive and efficient, so there's less room for spontaneity. You could be right, yeah. You're absolutely right. I think that's what it is. That kind of efficiency, like, oh, I'm wasting my time mentality, or, you know, I should stop wasting my time, I need to be more productive. That's true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. Done the pinhole out of a body cap. Love it so much the cap is still on my camera back. Yeah, yeah. It's good, man. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think it's because as adults we're more afraid to waste time. Exactly right. But as kids, we don't really find that fear and desire for efficiency, if that makes sense. It makes total sense, Kat. It makes total sense. Yeah, I don't know where this like. It's almost like you could like as kids, right? We always used to love to paint a picture or draw a picture, right? Somebody would go just give you like a sheet of paper and some crayons or whatever it is, and go, "Oh, can you just draw me a picture?" And you do it, right? Like that. As you get older, some people hang on to that, right? And then as you get older, most of us just kind of like, no, I don't want to do that. It's a waste of time. Like, why would I do that? Why would I just spontaneously be creative? But we're all born creative like that. You know, you can give almost any kid that, you know, a sheet of paper and pencils and crayons, and they will start to put stuff down. And I've kind of, you're going to get me into a rant here. Don't turn this into another 5,000 word article. But I do kind of always wonder where that kind of stops, right? Where we just kind of stop being that spontaneous creative self. At what point does that kind of just wear out? You know, at what point do we stop drawing pictures? Because that's essentially what we're talking about, right? When we were, even at our college, we were like that. We would just go out there with a camera and just shoot stuff, and then something would happen. You know, like I said, we had this cheap ass speed light, and you know, because we couldn't afford triggers to sync them up, we would do it at night, right? So we would go we would go to the location at night. I remember this now. We go to the location at night, and there would be like 3 or 4 of us each holding a light. So then we would just hold the shutter open because it's dark. It was nighttime, and then because we didn't have triggers, you would just have to each fire them. So okay, opening the shutter, everybody would fire their flash. Yeah, stuff like that, man. It's just nuts. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on. Let's get focused. Come on. We need to be productive. Let's get on with this. When we start working for money, I guess that's what it comes down to, money. Yeah. When you have to make some money or you starve. Yeah, I guess. I wonder if you were independently wealthy tomorrow, though, how creative you'd be. Don't know. I'm not saying you wouldn't. I'm just saying. You know. Yeah. Man, yeah, like being poor makes you very creative, I think, as well, Kat. Like that aspect of like just trying to make things work. And you kind of mentioned that before about just something like happenstance, right? Something happens because you're trying to scuff something together, and like something else comes out of it, right? Whereas now, you would just have this all triggered up, and it would all be high speed synced, and everything would look amazing, you know. Like, cool, I guess. Just another high speed synced shot. Yeah. I would have a ton more lights to play around with in that case. Yeah, I mean, look, I certainly hope so, Vlad. Yeah, I certainly hope so. Yeah. Right. So inspiration then. Let's have a look. Getting off on that tangent. Let's get it down. Thank you for sharing that magnific AI thing. Wibbly, appreciate that, mate. Let's put that down there for a second. And where's these? I had a page of images. Oh, there you go. This'll do. Right. So let's look at some inspiration here. Okay. And I just want to go through a couple of interesting photographers' work that I've followed for many years, been inspired by, you know, when I was younger, and sort of, you know, more recently as well. But you know, I would if you can post in chat sort of a photographer that you'd like me to look at, right? You know, and you know, some inspirational work. And I'm not just talking about. There's nothing wrong with sharing educators and that sort of stuff, but you know, people who are kind of doing something a little bit different is also good. So Nadav Kanda is a guy that I followed since I was at art college, you know, a million years ago, and he was a huge inspiration for me with his kind of colors and that sort of thing. And Instagram is fine, but it is a little bit of a mess. So if you go on his site and then look at his, you know, portraits and that sort of thing, and you know, he's photographed some incredible people, and you know, David Lynch, Obama, just, you know, like nuts, Alexander McQueen, and some of his pieces, like what he did with color, but more importantly, what he was doing with movement, and you know, this is, yeah, Michael Stipe there. Ridley Scott, beautiful colors as well. But yeah, some of this stuff, right? Some of this stuff was like Brian, like Mark Owen, even, or like Rio Ferdinand. Like, this is the sort of stuff that I was like, you go, Nadav. Yeah, like Rio Ferdinand, and this is the picture that you get. I absolutely love it, man. I absolutely love it. I think it's great. And where's some of the OG stuff? Some of this original stuff is absolutely beautiful. Because I'm going back, you got 2015 there. David Beckham. This was at 2002. David Beckham. I was just like, what? You got to have absolute balls of steel to take that of David Beckham back at his prime, man, or about to, like, that's just, you know, absolute legend. 2002. So he was doing, he was just being a little bit freer with it, right? And that was kind of what drew me to his work. It wasn't all about this clinical, pristine, textbook approach to work. You know, he was definitely a lot freer with it, and he was one of the few people kind of using, you know, more obscure color at the time as well. It wasn't about it being perfect. You know, some of his colorings were very you know, bold, as it were, at the time, especially, right? And he did a bunch with long exposures, not a huge amount of it here. Let's have a look. We've got some double exposure, and doing multiple things with stacking and that sort of stuff. And I found it just really interesting. Really interesting kind of, you know, layering up of work, just rather than it just being an image for image sake, you know, having this dimensional depth to a shot. Let's see, we got some. So this stuff as well, this is kind of an interesting series that he did that I kind of liked as well, with the blocks of color that I thought was pretty cool. And this Eric Cantona, I remember that. Like, what is that about? That hasn't aged well, Nadav. It's interesting just looking back at this stuff now. Yeah. Huh. But yeah, the solitary portraits one is a great example if you just want some, just want a quick look. I mean, this is beautiful. This is one of his more recent stuff. Absolutely beautiful. I love that. Gorgeous. Yeah. But I was just getting engrossed in it then. But yeah, just to sort of wrap up, I think at the time I was really kind of taken by the fact that somebody, as a photographer, you could not just be arty for the sake of being, oh my god, you're this crazy person over there doing weird shit. You know, you could actually be somebody who was super creative and also be in a position to photograph some of the like most famous people of all time and still do it in your crazy quirky style. I was like, whoa, this guy's a legend, man. This guy's an absolute, you know, hero, because he wasn't, this is like even some of the more recent stuff. Well, I said more recent, like 10 years old, but yeah, beautiful stuff. Yeah. A nice one, Blad. Okay, I'll look at those. Yeah, here are two people I find inspiring nowadays, especially heavy-handed colours. Let's have a look. TDMC19. Okay, okay. Yeah, beautiful colors. Yeah, beautiful colors. Yeah. Yeah, we've definitely gone into this really saturated era right now, haven't we? Not that it's a bad thing at all. It's just was, you know, really saturated era at the moment. I think we are coming out of it though. I think we are coming away from this heavy saturation. And I try to, but it's just so ingrained in me. I really struggle. You know, you wouldn't believe the amount of jobs that I've tried to make or create with the mind of it being more pastely, softer, but it's just it's just ingrained in my psyche to go, ooh, that looks good, you know, with strong colors. It's really difficult for me to kind of change. This is good stuff though, man. Yeah, and I really like this. This is cool. Yeah, just really leaning into sort of like one bold color is a great look. Yeah, good stuff. A lot going on here with the color. Good one. Yeah, nice. Have a look at this next one. I'd love to know how this kind of looks, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, do you not think that a lot of that is just being cranked in post? You know, because you've had some of the similar whatever you call it, similar shots to a certain extent, right? Daylight, tons of light to work with. I mean, granted, they're on the streets, but these are some popular posts. This is nice though, beautiful. Yeah, again, beautiful colours. Yeah, beautiful. This is great, yeah. That's nuts though, right? And again, you know, the right time of day as well. He's definitely using some form of filters here. Do you know what camera these people use? Is it like cinema cameras or not? Because this has got some beautiful glow, elation, whatever you want to call it. Definitely something going on there. Whether it be lenses or, I don't think it's post, but I would have thought it's lenses or lens filters at the very least. Good stuff though, and he does a surprising job of actually not clipping any data either. You know, a lot of this, even in the daylight shots, he's got like none of the skies are bleaching out, which is so often done. That's kind of nuts. Is it a real shoot? Is the AI speculators? So you can do this kind of pastel tones as well. It's kind of cool. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Okay. Nice. Yeah. I'll have to have a look at those in more detail. Yeah, I should look into what they are using. Low-key, I don't want to ruin the magic. There is that, Vlad. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, actually, because this was kind of. Do I want to agree? No. Can we? What? Fine. Car insurance? The fuck? That was weird. Oh, get banned. You didn't see anything. So Elizaveta Borodina, absolutely butchered that name, so I apologize. But this work is like some of my favorite work at the moment, right? And I kind of showed this in the article that I posted last week. But this stuff is nuts. Absolutely, just incredible work. Just, you know, different league in my opinion. Just beautiful work. Just filled with, you know, that sort of movement and just a lot going on. Just beautiful colors. Just really creative stuff, man. I mean, this is just incredible. Look at the colours and stuff there. It's gorgeous. This is nuts. So this was kind of reminiscent of stuff where a friend of mine at college was printing using a paper. So he would make a negative out of paper. Okay, so he would basically make papering as thin as he could make it, print paper as thin as he could make it. He would print a negative reversed image onto it and then use that as the negative to then print an actual print. And what you got was this kind of very, very similar to this. It's like incredibly grainy because you're seeing the actual texture of the paper negative, and just incredibly cranked, smudged colors and stuff, which was just, a very beautiful look. But this stuff is really, different, right? It's, it's just no way this isn't catching your attention. I mean, this is just nuts, right? Incredible stuff, absolutely beautiful. And I mean, there's just tons of this, and again, like just incredible with the with the coloring and that sort of thing. So by all means, check out our work. But I mean, this is the sort of stuff that I need to have up, just surrounding me in the office to like to keep me on track, and not get sucked into the clinical crap that is just suffusing everything right now. Because this is like Vlad, you were talking about, you'd love to do stuff that you've seen there. This is kind of, I'd love to be able to shoot some stuff like this. And this kind of slightly related, but the article that I was that I wrote last week, the slow death of creativity in modern photography, I sent it to Chris Knight, and I was chatting to Chris Knight about it. And I won't mention what he said about the article, but we were chatting and talking about, because I shared this work in the article as well, and I was saying like this stuff is nuts, Chris, it's absolutely insane. And he said to me, I also follow her lighting technician. I was like, what? What do you mean? So this guy works on set here, and this is her shooting here. And Vlad, you need to check this guy out, because he's got tons and tons of stuff that is crazy. And Kat, if you're still here, this was kind of you were talking about playing with ideas and that sort of thing as well. This was kind of like disappointing for me to see, but also incredible for me to see as well. On one hand, I was like, oh, she's not doing her own lighting. Should that matter? She's probably not doing her own retouching. Like, where do we draw the line, right? She didn't put the makeup on either. Like, well, where do we draw the line in terms of what's yours and what's not, and that sort of stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I was convinced that a lot of it was film as well, but it's not. None of this is film. She shoots all digital, and then she gets a team here to play around with the lights, as we see. And you got these incredible sets here, and so she's doing this. This is the Pro Photo thing, right? You Pro Photo users in chat, this is the Pro Photo Flash, right? So I don't know what she's using that for. On one hand, I was chatting to Chris about it, and I was like, maybe she's using it as an eye light, which basically means that you just have it on. It's not really illuminating the subject, but it will give you a catch light in the eye, right? So could be it, but yeah. So this is all done at point of capture, right? Which is kind of nuts. So they're doing it, adding all that heavy compression and noise and cranking the colors and all that sort of stuff. That they're doing it all at the point of capture. Which again, I was like, it doesn't matter, Jake. But at the same time, I was like, oh, for some reason I had this kind of, aspiration that it was this mythical technique that she was doing. And like, yeah, no, she's just adding this in what program is this? I don't know, what is this? I think they have other shots in a minute, but again, she's using this here, right? And I like, because in the images, that's not, it's not adding a light. So I don't know whether it's just it could just be, I mean, maybe it's a trigger, but you would just use a trigger, So Kat, back to my point to you, I was saying was, there you go, this is capture one, yeah. It does feel like on a lot of these sets they just get out all the lights, right? They just get out all the lights and they're just kind of turning them on and kind of playing with them a little bit. They have tons and tons of little lights in some of these shots. God, look at that double diffusion, right? So bouncing it off this board and then through this diffusion screen. I mean, that is diffused. That's going to be this super wall of light. I can't really find any here as an example, but yeah, in some of the sets, there you go. But it's just like, turn them all on, boys. Turn them all on. Yeah, look, you see, you've got these really incredible backdrops that they've got, and then they're just like whacking it at the background. It's just like, oh, I would never do that. You should never do that, but just turn them all on and play around with it, right? But it does feel like, I mean, what on earth is this? I love it. It's great. It's nuts. Yeah, really cool, really cool. So have a look at that. And thank you to Chris for ruining my dream. I mean, for sharing this with me. But there you go. I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's in camera. I mean, she's cropping in here, but still, like, this is in camera. Yeah. These huge spots that she's got. Massive sets. I don't know what they're doing with that, because it doesn't look like they ever use that. Yeah. There we go. A little bit of a optical snoot there. Good stuff, man. Yeah, good stuff. Take a look at that. It's nuts. Yeah, it's great. It's awesome to see like a team just like playing with light like that. It's really cool. Really cool. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, look, see, they do so much of this, lots and lots of little amounts of light, just layered like that. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Check that out. Yeah, like, I'm getting obsessed now. I'm just going to have to stop. There he is again. Steve, how you doing, mate? Steve. Love it, mate. Love it. Oh my god. I think I know. Yeah, I think I've seen Brian Singer stuff. What they're using. Looking at Brian's colouring. Paper texture out a lot down here. I was already searching him. Yeah, no worries. Those are some crazy large sets. They are, yeah. Yeah, that's like a A10. A10, that's it. Thank you, David. Thank you. That's it, yeah. At that position would be an ugly catch light, but yeah. I don't like. It's not about where, because it's not lighting the face. It would be, and I use it with the Neo 3s, right? The EOS, like not the EOS, like the Rotalights Neo 3s, right? Because they have an attachment to go on the hot shoe, right? So I've used those as a catch light. It's not illuminating the face, but you can see a catch light in the eye, which is a nice trick, right? Like I said, I don't know whether that's what she's doing, because it's got a number on here. I don't know. Maybe that's just turned off. She's just using it as a trigger. Maybe it's not flashing at all. Maybe that is just her trigger. I don't know how the whatever Dave said A10s work. Yeah. Oh, A1. Okay. Real going on. And okay, yeah, it's like I said, it does feel like one of those kind of organic sets. I mean, maybe it's all heavily scripted, but I don't think so. The stupidest thing we are both doing is believing we can do all this as a one-man band. I mean, yeah. I mean, I suppose you're right. These are huge teams. Yeah, these are big teams. I mean, they got like 4 or 5 gaffers or whatever they're called in some of these some of these sets. Which, if you're moving this many lights around, then you know, it would be a lot. She's shooting through textile. Oh, you saw that, did you? She's actually shooting through textile? I didn't see that. Also, what camera is that? I swear in some of these, look, don't laugh, guys. I swear I saw a Nikon on the table in some of these. I'm not lying to you. I swear I saw it. In one of these is a Nikon. Did I just imagine it? No, I did see it. I definitely saw it. It's a Nikon on the table. It had the little red hand guard thing. Yeah, it's definitely in there. It obviously shoots Nikon. I don't know what camera that is, but that's I don't know what that is. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah. Oh, did you? Okay, I'll have a look at that. Yeah. Okay. Must be amazing to work as part of a talented team instead of Billy No Mates solo shoot like myself. It comes with ups and downs, Steve. It does come with ups and downs. Like it is good to work on a large team. Yes, it can be. I do like you hear the Instagram posts of it. Kind of sometimes can sound a little bit cliched. Of like, oh, it's great to work with this team, and everybody was just doing this and this and this. Like, yes, it's a collaboration, but at some point you do need to kind of take charge sometimes and make sure that you're getting the image that you want. Sometimes having too many people in the team can end up with you compromising on what you wanted, and that sounds super arrogant, I know, but sometimes as an artist, if you've got an idea, you want to do that idea, right? And if you're collaborating with people and they're there for free, completely different story, right? That like if they're there helping you out, then they it's only fair they have a little bit of input. I get it, but yeah, sometimes it can be just like, oh, what if we put it over there? If I thought it looked good over there, I would have done it. It's sometimes too many cooks can become an issue. But yes, you're right. Working on a team where you can get people to realize your vision is amazing. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it comes. I know, right? Yeah. It could be Alan. Yeah, it could just be the focus. That's true. Yeah, it just comes on to focus. Could be. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. Because I think that may be the focus light there, to be fair. Yeah. Flash also has an integral trigger receiver functionality. Exactly that. I was thinking that it could be used as a trigger. Yes, maybe it's just not doing anything. Yeah. But yeah, beautiful stuff. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Always love looking through that. Moving on now, and this is one that I shared last week as well, where this I thought was really cool. I was kind of inspired by this because it's actually kind of difficult to do this kind of look, to make it look. And if you squint, especially at some of these ones further out, it's definitely very reminiscent of a painting style, and this is harder to do than I think people realize. The light and even like the final post pro on this, just everything is just bang on. And although I wouldn't actually, I'm not inspired to the point where I would want to shoot this myself. That's not why I'm drawn to this, but I'm drawn to the ability to be able to do this. I find it a fascinating kind of talent, because this is bang on. This is absolutely nailing it. Gorgeous work. And there's another guy called the Togfather, I think he's called, and he does kind of similar pre-Raphaelite, whatever it is, style, where they're kind of cherub glowing, Renaissance style look, and that's cool. But I think this is really kind of nailing that color as well in terms of that final painted look. Beautiful stuff. Really well done. Yeah, really well done. yeah. Because you can kind of see them playing with it a little bit more as well. So like taking the style, and then I don't want to click on these even though the nipples are blurred out. I don't want to risk it. You know what the internet's like these days. So precious. But yeah, you know, so like some of these, I'm telling you, this is harder to do than it looks. Yeah, absolutely nailed it. Yeah, good stuff. So this is just something really recent, you know, talking about Nadav Kanda, loved it from, like, you know, been a fan of his work for like the last 20 years or so, longer. But this is something I literally came across the last couple of weeks. It's really cool. Yeah. It's good, Steve, right? Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. Yeah, I'd genuinely be interested as to how that's done, you know. Not because I want to do it, but just because I'm genuinely fascinated by the process. Yeah. Oddly enough, I've just bought a Rembrandt course by Chris Knight, focus on the type of art. Exactly, yeah. I mean, Chris Knight, yeah. I mean, absolute master as well. Yeah, and because Chris Knight is a full-time photography teacher, right? He works there in New York, right? That guy knows his stuff, you know. And when I was we kind of spoke about this, you know, the live stream a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was Nigel, you know, mentioned Chris Knight as a kind of counter to that kind of farmed out crap that's on YouTube. And Chris Knight really knows his stuff, super knowledgeable, you know, understands intensely about the light and why he's placing it and where he's placing it. So I think you'll love that course. Wibbly, yeah, I think it is his great course. It was the course is it his course or is it a follow up? Because I know he did one on Pro EDU. I think since the cataclysm that was Pro EDU, I think he's now gone on and done his own stuff. But yeah, quite forensic. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love that kind of detailed work. I know it's not for everybody, but yeah, he really gets into it. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how you got on with it. Yeah. He uses flags. He does, yeah. He uses a lot of flags. He's really precise with his light. Yeah. Got the Pro EDU one, but the latest one is on his own website. Gotcha. Yeah. So the Pro EDU one was, yeah. I've seen that one. I think. Yeah. I think I've seen that one. Because I think he actually looks at replicating like an old war photo or something like that. It's like a couple of guys like cutting their hair in front of a plane or something, if I remember rightly. So he's actually analyzing an image and then replicating it in the modern day, which I think is a fascinating exercise. If you've never done that, it's difficult to do, because this is what's happening here, right? This photographer is doing that. They're analyzing, you know, Renaissance paintings, as it were, and kind of, or the kind of Baroque style, and they're kind of, you know, bringing it, modernizing it in the real world. Again, it's like a fascinating way of actually doing it. Yeah, you actually learn so much by doing that, and you can always copy and Jake. Well, yeah, it is, but you're learning a ton in that process. Yeah. The Rembrandt one, it goes quite a bit into the history of his art. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Oh, is there actual texture in there as well? Nice, Steve. Okay, so maybe they're applying. Doesn't seem to be. I mean, there's noise and stuff, but I don't think there's like a canvas texture or anything like that. Remy Rebillard. Okay, let's have a look. Remy Rebillard. Okay. Yeah, good shout, Damien. Yeah, okay. I swear I think I've shared this before. Yes, I have. Yeah. I have. Yeah, it's probably might be where you know of it, but either or. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, and I've certainly shared this on the share shoots in the past. But yeah, this sort of thing, beautiful. Very difficult to do as well. You know, these real subtle just washes of color, really difficult. Yeah, but you know, thank you for showing that one, because it's a really good example. Yeah, beautiful stuff. And this is probably more like a modernized version of it, right? Yeah, kind of like like an updated style. But yeah, these subtle colors and stuff, difficult to do. Yeah, really well done though. Yeah, really well done. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Yeah, yeah. Cool. Yeah, nice one. Okay. This other guy here, Seb Xavier, and followed him for a few years now. It's kind of been interesting. So again, this is very, very different to what we've been looking at. I just wanted to show you a little bit of variety. But this guy, kind of pre-AI style. I say that because like now, you know, it almost looks AI now, but a real cool kind of dramatic look, which again, kind of difficult to do, and obviously heavily stylized, but beautiful coloring in all of this. You know, again, like very. I honestly don't know how he does that final look, because it is a very unique look that he has, and I'm guessing that it is in post. I don't know that, but I mean, he's just doing regular-ish lighting, right? Yeah, so some of this stuff, like from a while ago, where he was doing this kind of comic book style, which I thought was really cool. Like blended it really well, like seamless but not seamless. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it was really well done. And again, like the skin looks nuts. And again, I think I'm drawn to it just because the colors are just so punchy. It's really just like colors are just leaping off the page, right? And you know, I'm fairly confident that a lot of my own work is inspired by anime with regards to how punchy and poppy the colors are, and those colors aren't necessarily always accurate. Like you can have green concrete and, you know, whatever it was, you know, pink concrete. I wrote an article dissecting the film Akira, and if you look at that, it's just a masterclass in colors, in how to use colors. But again, like really vivid style, really stands out. Oh, this is cool. We turned it into like a model. That's nuts. I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. It's good stuff. That's cool, man. That's really cool. Yeah, definitely check it out. Again, we were kind of speaking about this modern era of like super saturated poppy colors. This is definitely that, you know. Really really jumps out. We've done some cool projects. You know, this sort of thing where you're trying to get like 20 or 30 people to do what you want them to is difficult. It does, Vlad, yeah. It is kind of that. Yeah, it is kind of that. That's futuristic retro, yeah. Good for you, Wibbler. Yeah, I totally kind of missed out on all those deals. Yeah. Richard Wood photo. Is this the one you mean, Wayne? This one? Or not? Oh, he's got some interesting vignettes of stories there. That's cool, yeah. Is this him, Wayne, or not? Or are we looking for... Oh, it's him. Okay, cool. That's cool. This is interesting. So, like, these are... Because this is this style of building this one set for like this one shot, right? Which is kind of interesting. I've never been into that style of shooting, but you have this overarching idea for this final image, and then everything is kind of building to getting that kind of that one shot, right? It's an interesting style because we were just looking at Xavier's back here, right? That's exactly what he's doing. He's building into like this one shot, and these kind of vignettes or of pieces are similar, right? Yeah, pretty cool. Building up to that one idea. Yeah. Oh, really? Really wibbly, really? Okay. Gotcha. Have to look at those. I can't tell how much it's props, how much it's post. I mean, that is definitely a good thing, right? Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. Yeah. So I've shared this guy's work before. I think we were in a previous stream and that sort of stuff. I absolutely love this guy's work at the moment. This Daniel Archer. Just kind of like the beautiful tones that he has in a lot of these images. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely outstanding. And again, just a little bit more energy with some of these shots, not being too precious with it. Just being a little bit braver with some of the tones, especially when it comes to looking at shape and form. He does a really good job with that. But again, this is like, this is one of those things where like this is harder to do than it looks. Like just these kisses of light that we see here, right? And beautiful lighting on the body here, absolutely incredible. And again, like this is black. Not only is it black, but it's like fur, which would be soaking up the light. This is black as well. This wants to be hidden, right? So this is difficult to or harder to do than it looks, but again, this just is kind of freer look at imagery, not being too precious with the details and that sort of thing, getting across what needs to be gotten across, and that's it, right? Because he's still got this kind of beautiful kind of pattern back here, which is enough, right? It's kind of enough. Like if it was all black back there, but I think having this kind of dappled, what do they call, like caustics back here, is beautiful. Gorgeous light here as well. Again, this playing with pockets of light, just pockets of light, but still, even in the shadows, like we still have data here in the shadows, right? And then we just have these pockets of light. And again, clean lighting on the face. It's really, really beautifully done. Really beautifully done. Yeah. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at the colours and the shapes. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. And again, like it always interests me when I see shots like this, especially fashion, editorial. I know we don't see much fashion editorial anymore now. It just gets swamped. But like this sort of stuff where you see the shot and you're just like, I would not have taken that pose, right? That this is not, but it works so well, and I think it's good to look at stuff like this and go, if this comes across, if this whatever shape or whatever forms itself, make sure you take it, because I wouldn't have taken this, because this is like, oh, this is all blacked off and that sort of thing, but it works so well with how it's lit up here. You know, not being afraid to share this sort of stuff as well. It's just a little bit more engaging. Love this. I absolutely love playing with mirrors, and this is a great example of it. Gorgeous colors. So again, you know, but you know, the colors as well. Look at these colors. I mean, the same as what we were looking at with Elisabetta here. Just gorgeous colors. And look at this. Look at these shapes and stuff. Beautiful work. I mean, these are black and white, but I mean, I love this. This is incredible. Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, you know, you don't need me to babysit you through all of these. I mean, it's just obvious that they're incredible. You don't need me to explain it. I mean, damn, it's just beautiful. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, I love it. Love it. Yeah. This is kind of cool. This is actually these painted squares on a backdrop, I think. It's kind of cool. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. It's nice. Yeah. It's great. This is, I mean, this is good stuff, man. Yeah. That's good stuff. That's, I mean, every single one of these is just, you know, hey, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? I'm just going to sell my camera. So that's good stuff. Make sure you check out that guy's work if you want to cry yourself to sleep. Do that. Daniel there. We looked at these. Good stuff. Okay, cool. All right then. I learned a lot more from Richard than the other guy, just saying. Okay. The other guy, okay. I don't want to get involved as to who you're. So as long as, so the key point here is that you learned a lot from Richard. Okay, fair enough. I'll have to have a look. I did not know about him until you guys mentioned. Yeah. Wood shoots all his composites from scratch. Lots of stuffed animals. Gotcha. Okay. I love the story we told about having to account for all images in his composite before winning an award. Okay, there was a shot of an alien. They said, where did that come from? It was him, right? Learn the rules to break him in it. That's it. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, right then. So, yeah, you know, looking at inspirational stuff this week rather than listen to Old Man cry at Moon. So yeah, there's, you know, tons of incredible images to get you fired up there. You know, just I think I just print all these out, cover my room in it, and then print all these out, cover my room in it, and just submerge myself in it, just percolate this goodness. Make sure you check those out. Right then, let's have a look at people's images they've shared this week. Let's see what we got. So if you're not aware, like I said, every couple of weeks do share a shoot on, well, every Monday we do share a shoot, but every 2 weeks we do it on via a live stream and go through some of your images, have a play with them, you know, give some feedback if necessary. And yeah, if you wanted to share a shot, then you can do it here. We do it on so last night's post was this one. Share a shoot in here and just pop your image in the comments. Okay. What is Alex doing here? Alex is just like, what's going on? Alex just dumped his portfolio up there. So Alex, just to save time for everybody else, I'm just going to look at the like your first image there. Okay, just looking at other people's work in here. Good stuff. Okay, cool. So this is your first image here. One light in back, one in front. Okay. So where are you based? Based in Malaysia. Okay. Itchy Studio. itchy. Is itchy like no? Okay. I'm just looking at. Oh, this is cool. I mean, yeah, I think in terms of, you know, if you wanted to punch, you got these really strong colors here. I would try and lock these colors in just a touch more than they are. So we've got some variety in yellows here. So I would try and lock these colors in so they're, you know, really nice and tight, because this is kind of like a greeny yellow. So we kind of want to just bring them so that they're in line. It'll just make this more graphic image pop, because at the moment we can like, we know that it's a car, but it's not a car. What I mean by that is like you've turned this car into like a graphic, right? So it's not you're not selling the car, you're obviously selling the person. So here we just want to make sure that we can kind of turn these colors like to this block color as well, just so that really stands out. So we've got, you know, these yellows and that sort of thing. I think we could probably try and tie them in a little bit more in Photoshop, and that would help just to solidify everything into one. The other thing as well, just watch these poses where limbs are coming straight to camera. Just see if you can have them a little bit further out if possible. It's just not always ideal to have these limbs coming straight into camera like this. Yeah. Okay. Danny, let's have a look. We've got Danny up here next. Traded color 2 EOS orange tone, right? 16% power modified in my custom 36. Oh, I know you. Yeah, you. I saw you made that custom bracket for a softbox. It's kind of cool. So we've got 2 EOS and a Neo 3 behind. So we've got the orange to the right, yeah. And then we've got a blue to the left, and then the Neo behind. Okay. So I love the idea, right? Because what we've got going on here is we are trying to, you know, we're trying to separate the model. You know, we're going to put the model in the middle, and then we're going to have the colors either side. So we're going to keep those colors kind of separate by having the lights on either side of this, and then the background is going to have its kind of light as well. And you know, we've got light coming on the background here. I don't dislike it. I think it's fine. My biggest concern with this is that practically a third of the image is kind of, slight exaggeration, but you know, a fifth of the image is kind of pure black, right? Not to mention the hair as well there. So it's kind of trying to think how we can avoid that from happening, right? And sometimes what that means is that you need, if this was a white dress, this wouldn't be an issue. But we've got a black dress, so we kind of need to adjust what we would normally do if it was white cotton dress. We could do this setup, but we need to kind of adjust our setup around what we've got in front of us. Same thing for like black hair and that sort of thing as well. So we kind of do need to think about some way of having some light in this dress. Now I know you've got a bunch of lights, Danny, so I don't think you're short on lights. So one thing that we could do is, let's say this is your background, you got your model here, and I think what you've got a Neo going this way, right? And then I think you've got an EOS here, another EOS here. So the other thing as well, I'm looking at this blue. This blue is coming up, right? Because we've got shadow here, and the blue is coming up in there as well. Just maybe raise the height of this blue so that it's coming down a bit more. So that way we would get the blue coming around her a little bit more as well. So the thing here is, at the moment we don't really have too much light coming onto the front of her, which is why this dress is black. So we kind of need to think about what you could do is have a large softbox here, or a large umbrella, right, and just turn it way down. Just turn the power way down, and then we just want to kind of allow that to fill in fill in some of the heavy shadows here. And we've got to be careful with that because we're going to start to wash out this background as well. But at the moment we don't have any light on this dress. We kind of need to think either we need to change the lighting entirely so that we have more light on the dress, or we get it changed. I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm not necessarily joking. I have got the model to change. If I've like, this is what we're going to do, that's not going to work. I mean, obviously, if it's a client and that's what they've got, then you need to change around them. Yeah. So for this, yeah, the black dress is going to be an issue for sure. Yeah, we need to kind of think about how we can light that. And a large modifier, super low, is just going to allow us to fill in some of those shadows. Yeah. Oh, this is Alex again. What's he doing? He's just getting. Okay. Sorry, Alex. I'm not. Oh, yeah. I'm like honestly, these are great shots. They are great shots. I'm just trying to be respectful of everybody else who's only submitted one image, because I think I did say one image each here. Keep it to one image each. Yeah. So that's all I mean. I'm not poo-pooing the fact that those are great images. I'm just trying to be respectful to everybody else. That's all. Spread says, "Hey, Chick, all right. Due to supportive comments last week, I'm inclined to share a color shot from this one's not been retouched aside from a few exposure shadow boosts." Yeah, I can see that. On a related note, I had an agency tell me that they love my work, going so far as to remember specific images from over a year ago, okay, but will not pay or even pass through the charge to the models. Is that just the culture of Hollywood, or is that common all over for agencies? Also mentioned report building. Okay, so this first bit then, so getting paid. It is very difficult to get paid by agencies in this day and age, and the reason being is that most agencies are going to send you new faces, right? That's what they're called, new faces. So they're going to send you new faces to work them for free, right? And I presume that's what you're doing. You're working for these, working with these girls for free. If you're saying they're not paying you, then you must be. So they're sending you new faces. The reason you get new faces is because all the other more experienced girls already have work. They already have images on their portfolio, so they don't really need that. So like the reason they're not going to pay you is the fact that there is always going to be somebody who is going to do it for free, right? And they just need something like this, which is, almost like a Polaroid, as we call it, which is kind of like just clean, fresh, nothing crazy. Like nobody gets in touch with Jake Hicks to do agency tests, right? Because they don't want any of that crazy color shit. They want to show off the model, right? So they want this nice, clean, high key stuff. I mean, I've done work with agency models, and they've gone, "Oh, Jake, can I have Polaroids?" And I can certainly shoot that for them, but it's just clean, nice lighting. And that on a later night, agency tell me they love my work. Yeah, this is great. This is exactly what they want. They want nice, clean lighting, catch lights in the eyes, nice, crisp, no crazy shadows. Face is well lit, all good, right? And that can go on the new faces book, and then they'll get work from there. So you're kind of in this trap where even if you wanted to do something crazier, you think, well, if I offer something unique that they can't get somewhere else, then maybe they'll be inclined to kind of pay for it. And it's kind of difficult because then you fall into this trap then of, well, like, no, we don't want anything crazy because it's new faces, right? So we just want clean imagery. So you're kind of in this sticky situation. Years ago it was hard to make money from it. I would think it was even harder to make money from it now. I mean, it used to be something like 150 quid to 300 quid for like a couple of hours just to knock out like 10 clean images, but it's a lot of work for not much. And I again, I'd be surprised if you could do that. I mean, you would just back in the day, you would just set aside a day and get 5 or 6 girls in and just knock them out, you know. But it's again, it's you just don't hear of it now. Yeah, I mean, again, because there's plenty of people who get in touch with them and go, hey, do you have any new faces I can work with? Absolutely. Crack on. So yeah, it's very difficult to make money from them, I'm afraid. Is it possible? I'm sure it is, but don't expect it. Yeah. And also they did mention building rapport, and then the same day invited me to a Christmas party. Have you found agency parties good for networking? Oh, 100%. You got to go to those. 100%. Yeah. I mean, move shit. Make that happen. Yeah. Absolutely make that happen. Yeah. Like the agencies tend to be gatekeepers for the most part. Can be notoriously difficult to work with, and because it's like a little black book, right? They're trying to keep all that to themselves, right? Because they're the middleman. So they are usually very cagey, because if we can remove the middleman, we will. Yeah, which is why Instagram and all that sort of stuff is great, because they don't take 25% from the model, and the model gets to keep all the money. We contact the model directly. That's got rid of the modeling agency. The modeling agency is the middleman. So, you know, definitely 100% go to those events, because that's, you know, you can kind of get in touch with people that ordinarily you wouldn't be able to speak to, like other people on Teams, right? You talk to somebody who, I don't know, who else will be there, like a makeup artist or lighting tech or studio owner, like all these people. Is just putting your name on their lips if they need somebody at any point. Just all adds up, right? I'm curious as to how clean, no crazy color Jake photo look. I mean, I can certainly dig it out for you. Yeah, I mean, I still tried out a new technique that actually turned out to be really cool, which I loved. But yeah, I can certainly dig it out for you. In fact, I might have it. It might be a slide in the cinematic lighting workshop, actually. There you go. So I just wrapped on a shoot with her, and she said I needed some Polaroids. So this is what I did. This is actually a really, not blowing my own horn here, but this is actually a really cool technique. And basically it's just a globe on a light, and then it's bounced off this board. This is from the cinematic studio lighting workshop, but it's basically bounced off this board and onto her. So basically you have a key light as well as a hard light, which is why you're able to get these beautiful shadows here, but those shadows are also filled in from this fill light. So your fill light is like, the density of this fill light is managed by how close and far you have these boards. So yeah, this is what she got. Yeah, I mean, you can still see shape and form on the arm and stuff there, highlight on the black leggings and stuff. I mean, that's nuts, right? It's super quick, simple, job done. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question there, Brett. But yeah, I mean, let me know how it goes. Yeah. Hey, no worries. Yeah. New face coming out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Yeah. Yikes. So this is from Jide. Thank you for sharing this. I think this is, I don't remember seeing your work before in here, but this is absolutely, I absolutely love this. It's gorgeous. Yeah, this image was a fun creative shoot with a model and makeup artist. Love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. So not only is it, you know, tons of color here, but then we've actually got just a real subtle, gradual color across here as well. This nice kind of ketchup to mustard tone here. I really like it. I really like this nice soft color compared to this crazy vibrant color on the subject here. And the same goes for like this shiny outfit and stuff. Is cool. I think the colors, you know, works well, you know, with the yellows, browns, and the reds here. And then again, all of this is kind of stood out with the crazy colors. I think it works really well. Yeah. Only thing that is kind of bugging me, and that's just me personally, is it's not right or wrong, it's just personal preference, is kind of where she is in this, like the crop here, and then like her face being dead center here, but the weight is off, right? So I think you could afford to bring her a touch to the right here, and maybe you don't have just a tiny bit at the bottom there. This kind of cropping the soles of the feet thing is a little bit jarring, but otherwise, yeah, beautiful shot. Love that. Yeah, really cool. Really cool. Yeah. So we've got Vlad's one here. The initial idea was to drown the room in cool light, and then use an orange one to make me stand out, and also experiment with fill light under the camera. The real trick that made me love this shot was when I put on the orange t-shirt. It made everything come together nicely and was a bit of a eureka moment that we sometimes focus on too much and the lights forget. Think about the props. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? So we need to be, you know, thinking about the outfit with regards to how it works with not only like the black dress with Danny, right? The black dress is there. Do we change that? Do we adjust that? Do we change the lighting around that? That sort of thing. So yeah, I think you absolutely need to think about that. Yeah. So what Vlad's doing here is he's using the subject and outfit to contrast the colours in the rest of the shot, which kind of works well. Yeah. What is this template that everybody uses? I see everybody using it. I haven't like. What is that? Also, Anuba convinced me to grab a new pack of light diagrams. Hopefully it looks much better than the last ones I posted. So everybody's getting in. That's it. Anuba's raising the bar of diagrams. Everybody's getting involved. I saw even Dave got out his pen and paper there. Okay, so this is the bounce board then. So these are the LED tubes back here. So we've got warm light here. And then we've got the fill light under here, just coming in here. Okay. And then some colour in here. Okay. Just let me let the dog out. 2 seconds. I know, you're going out. Come on. There you go. Yeah, I think it works. Yeah, definitely the contrast in tones works. Yeah. Oh, when I saw this, Vlad, I think I managed to remember that around 5 years ago I made a Photoshop action that splits the image into RGB. Yeah, I've got you just adjust the actual separate channels, right? Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I certainly played with it when I was trying to come up with a cinematic look that didn't look too fake. I was trying to come up with a way to distort it in such a way that it looked more organic. It looks like this is doing it more towards the edges here as well, which is kind of cool. Yeah. The template is from a phone. Oh, right, it's supposed to allow you to show metadata, but it's so bad it doesn't grab the metadata, so don't buy the app. Okay. Gotcha. So is that what people are doing then? They're using the app and it looks at the metadata and just spits that out. Okay. Interesting. Are you on iPhone, Jake? Yeah, I am on iPhone, yeah. So Chris here says, first attempt at using the Rodolights AOS lights. I can only get better. Feel like my captures were not as good as my flash photography shot using continuous light. Fully aware this shot isn't great, but wanted to post something not edited crazy to get some feedback. We not understand there's a lot of black here, I presume. Just trying to see what the Rodolights were doing on the skin. Yeah, So it's interesting, right? It is interesting, yeah. And look, you're not alone in this, right? This is it was the same for me when I went from flash to rotor lights or LEDs. It was exactly the same. It did take some getting used to, right? Because it was like, what, this is not working how it used to, and that sort of thing. So there is definitely a learning curve. So don't feel bad about it. It is definitely something that takes a little bit of time to get used to. More specifically, like the kind of colors that you're putting out from these LEDs may be different to what you used to with the gels, right? And I kind of found that I needed to feel like I was going more into the blue with the color that was coming out than I would normally have done. Yeah, so we can see here just pushing that blue away from the, or push it, because this is kind of green, we're just kind of pushing away from that. We can do the same with the red. So yeah, looking at this image, and then how to actually use it in such a way that we can kind of get the gels to do, or the colored lights to do what we had before. And it is kind of tricky. I mean, the tricky part is getting that distance right. And I think that getting the distance right is relevant, because ordinarily we would put the light at a certain distance, or the strobe at a certain distance. But remember, with LEDs, the panel is the light bulb. So whereas when we're using strobes, we're kind of thinking about the modifier. Maybe we're using umbrellas, so we're bouncing the light off the umbrella and then coming in. So that light is traveling further than it does with the LEDs, right? So we would put, this is where I put the lights down before, whereas now we may need to think about putting it a little bit further back to allow that light to spread a little bit more compared to what we're used to with strobes. So that's kind of what I've found, that you'd be putting it in too close, and then we have like a bright spot here and then nothing here. So putting it further back allows time for this light to spread out a little bit more first. Okay. And like, this is a little thing here, but not having the color up there, kind of a tricky one. Maybe having it maybe a touch higher. If we draw a line from the ear to this shadow here, we can see that it's just bring it up a little bit higher, so we can have some of this light coming down more. And then the blue, then I can see the blue here in the catch light. Yeah, so the blue, the blue doesn't look too bad, to be fair. I just think it's the color that you're using that you just need to kind of get used to, and also thinking about shifting the white balance in your camera compared to what you were using before. So I think when I was using flash, I had my camera set to about 4,500 Kelvin, whereas when I'm using LEDs, I have actually brought it up a little bit warmer. Just something to play with and think about. Yeah. But yeah, just the only way of you getting better at it, like you're saying, is just playing with it, and which is what I was doing. I was just testing and playing with it, seeing what the light drop off is, like how far away I can bring it before it spreads too far and becomes a mess, and that sort of thing. But yeah, for me, I was kind of surprised at bringing it further back when I didn't think that I needed to, but something to play with. Thanks for the critique. Yes, I need to change the lighting scheme on the bottom light to show the color. Probably use orange, yellow, pink instead of blue. Yeah, you could. That's true, Danny. Yeah, you could have brought a color in from beneath. That wouldn't have been a bad idea, actually. Yeah, you probably could have got away with bringing in a fill light, like a colored fill light in there on the dress, and that would have probably added enough for us to see. Like, we don't need to see every sequin on the dress or anything like that. We just need to see a little bit of data in there. So that probably could have worked, to be fair, Danny. Yeah. Good idea. Yeah. Hey Tony, how you doing? Perfect timing, mate. Perfect. I just literally just opened that up. Hey, no worries, Chris. No worries. If you put the light further away, don't you? I presume I can't. It's annoying that it does that. Because there's just this heart above the text at the end there. Don't you lose the light shadow transition? So you're right to think that, Damien. The issue that we have with LEDs. Let's have a look. Is that the drop off is different? So this is a strobe, right? So we can see here, like, and this is why it takes a little bit of getting used to. So the drop off is different here compared, because it's a centralized point of light. So a flash is coming from a central point light. Here we got just a bare bulb, right? And we can see this is just a white wall behind it here, but we got 50 centimeters at 5.6, 100 centimeters at 2.8, 150. So you can see the drop off of light, the fall off of light. It's very different to something like an LED panel where you have this mini wall of light, right? Which is not lots of little lights anymore. You've got this mini wall of light pushing out light. So light doesn't drop off. Like the inverse square law is redundant now, okay? If you're using LED panels, you can forget the inverse square law, because the inverse square law is purely based on centralized points of light, okay, and how light falls off. We don't have that anymore because there's hundreds of little points of light, okay, creating that wall. So light drops off differently to the way you'd expect, right? So, like, so here at 50 centimeters, 5.6, right? So it's the same. So I made sure that at 50 centimeters, the exposure was always 5.6. But you can see how much quicker this light drops off. Yeah, it drops off very quickly. So it's good and bad. It means that these are far easier to control because that light drops off more sharply because you're not dealing with that centralized point of light. Okay, and look at the tubes, right? This is why people use tubes on movie sets. This is why Anubiv uses these tubes. It's easy mode, right? So yeah, it's going to take a little bit of relearning, that's all. Which, I mean, I'm a bit of a nerd. I kind of enjoy that process, but yeah, it's some of the stuff that you've done previously may not work the same as you'd think with strobes. So Tony's image here, I don't have a recent standard image, but here is a bit of fun. The Real Cosplayer makes some DAZ Studio 3D models. So what is DAZ Studio then? That doesn't... Download your free software. Okay. DAZ Studio generates 3D character creator. Oh, really? Okay. So Tony, seeing as you're in chat, is it free? How long do you get it free for? Like, what's the limitations? How dark a room do you need for LED? It just makes it easier if it's darker. Tony, it does. Yeah. Because you usually shoot. I mean, sometimes you're shooting at 125th of a second. I mean, ISO 200. So, you and like a flash is firing at 4,000th of a second. So you don't need room to be that dark with flash, but with LEDs you do need to be more conscious of it. The software is render only. It is totally free. Oh, okay. So what, you can just put in these characters yourself? That's nuts. Fair play to you. Interesting. There's that pink-haired girl. Knew it. Knew I'd seen her before, man. She's everywhere. Interesting. Man, it just gets to a point in life where you just kind of give up, right? So much to learn. That is cool though. It's cool. That's free. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so you just got your characters and then added them in the background back here. Clever idea, Tony. Yeah, that's cool. You see, Tony's always trying new ideas, man. Huge respect for that. So he's got his one character here, and then he's tried to kind of add some atmosphere and an extra character to the scene by having more characters like that. Clever. You don't need to hire any extra actors or anything like that. That's good stuff, man. Yeah. Yeah. I know, Kat. You know, honestly, it's rough out here. You laughing at the pink-haired girl, or the fact that I'm old and can't learn anything new? Yes, it handles animation as well as being a bit, but it is a bit slow. I guess because it's probably on the cloud, right? It's operating on the cloud. Yeah. Got my 225 watt lamp yesterday at that power level. You just don't care about ambient light anymore. I just got to figure out how to gel it. Yeah, true. I guess without. I mean, does it get warm? It must get warmish, right? It's cool. Good stuff, though, Tony. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's good stuff. Yeah. So from Jonas here. Jonas, I think you were here in the last one. You're relatively new, though. I know you reached out on Instagram and stuff. This is good stuff. It's great, great to have you here. Simple face painting with strip boxes on a pair of Godox 8600s, texture added in Photoshop. It's nice stuff, man. Yeah, really good stuff. So you got some texture and stuff in the background here. Simple face painting with strip boxes on a pair. So I'm guessing we've got like when you say strip boxes, so we've got a strip box here and here, right? And I'm guessing this one is kind of blue, and then this one is more white color. Yeah. Okay. I think it works. So we do seem to have a catch light in the eye there. So was there a light in the front, maybe? Might be something there. Get warm, but it was a bit mind-blowing on how nice it is to have powerful light. Oh, right, you got a taste for that power, Vlad. Yeah. I'll be the Feel World guy, I guess. Feel World? Do you mean that pink head AI influence who makes 10k a month of brand deals? That's the one. That's the one, Steve. You know her? That's nuts. Can't believe we know the same girl. That's crazy. So I think this works. So if this had been a regular portrait, right, I would have been questioning the height of the strip box, because we've got light coming from below here, right? Which is something you want to be wary of, but I think we get away with it here because it's kind of a creative shot, and I think we absolutely get away with it here, especially when it's sculpting this face so beautifully, So yeah, I think that's fine, but just be wary of that if you're going to be doing like more of a classic, white light shot of a non-painted person in the future. Just think about where the height of these are, because this is catching under here. We want to make sure that we're kind of up here somewhere, so that light is coming down on the subject more. Yeah. Otherwise, this is really cool. Love this. Yeah, really like the fact that we've got this kind of nice separation where it drifts from light dark here and then dark light here in the background. Subtle, but I think that's really well done. Yeah, really well done. That kind of checkerboard Chiaroscuro lighting. It's good stuff. So Mark here's tapping into the influence of Avedon, just keeping it simple, letting the model shine. Nice. Yeah, so this is we kind of talked about this with Brett a minute ago, right? Where we're talking about the whatever. What are we talking about? Test shoots. What are they called? New Faces agency. New Faces. Yeah. So I was trying to work out whether Sabor James was the same as Brett, the guy that posted the image. I was trying to keep track of different people's names on different services. It's my bad. Let me just bring this into Photoshop here a second, Mark. Let's have a look. The reason I'm bringing it in, because this is kind of like, firstly, well done for for not just turning it black and white, which is what most heathens would have done. So I respect the fact that you've kind of stuck with the color here. There's a couple of things I just want to have a quick look at, and we just to maybe see if we can't just freshen this up just a tiny bit. If you were interested in making it just a little bit more commercial, you don't have to. What you've done is absolutely fine. It's just something to bear in mind. I just want to see if we can straighten this out a touch as well. Where is it? Geometry? Nailed it. Nailed it. So no, we can't. Then this still wasn't straight I didn't really think it was going to be such a big deal, you know. Let's have a look. Right. So forgive me for cheating. Rather than fill that in, I'm just gonna extend this. Okay, so she's filling the frame a bit too much there, but we just gonna have to go with it for now. I just wanted to straighten that up. So the thing here is, like, this background here is looking just a little bit, maybe it's because it's quite close to her. You've got these weird patches and that stuff on it. I may just try and clean that up just a touch. So one way that we can do that is we can kind of select the subject here. Grab the stool as well, I guess. I'm just going to do this super quick. Apart from that bit, apparently. What about I use a different wand? Nothing's ever simple, is it? Here we go. See, quick as that. So, all right, that's a bit scuffed there, but we're just going to have to go with it. Okay, so I just want to come in here. I just hold down the Shift key to access this this old Shift Refine Edge tool. Okay, so we should have a background now. So if we just create a new layer and just mask that, so we've got that mask now. And I just want to kind of get a clean background going here. So can we have a gradient, please? Let's have from here. Don't have the mask selected. There we go. Okay, so now so this new gradient tool always just gives it in a new mask so that you can adjust it and stuff, which is cool, but sometimes you just want to it to be on the layer you had. So we're just going to reduce that a little bit just to soften up that background, right? Just to ease up that background. The other thing I want to kind of look at here is this kind of skin tone here, just to try and even it out, because we see down here where the feet and stuff are like this dirty grey color. So one thing we can do is just create a new layer, change that to color, and then we just want to grab a skin tone that we're kind of happy with here. And then we just want to paint it over the skin here. So what this is doing is, this is going to even out the skin tone a little bit, okay? Specifically, we want to add some warmth to these kind of dead looking feet down here. They're a bit grey, right? So it's not looking great at the moment, granted. So we're just going to grab that mask. We can at least mask that out. Now we want to double click on the right hand side here, and we just want to hide some of these shadows, and then I'm holding down the Option key and splitting this just so we can see that. And I'm going to do the same on the highlights. So I'm kind of looking up here, and I want to see where that white comes in. There you go. So somewhere about there. So that's helped out a little bit on the feet down there, just to give them a little bit more warmth. Okay, now if you want as well, you want to be careful that you don't have the eyes and teeth and lips and stuff still colored. So we can come in here, and all I've done here is I've just put this colored layer in a group, and we can just paint that out. So then we just want to have a little bit of a look at the colors here. So like a final grade, just to kind of freshen this up a little bit. And I've zoomed out a little bit here just because it's easier to do color grading when your eyes can kind of see the whole image, you know. So just bring up that blue a little bit. Just add a little bit of warmth into the skin. That's actually looking pretty good, right? Let's just do another one here, and let's just change this to the skin, so the red. Don't need to do too much. And it's at this point, this is where you want to work out as to, you know, how commercial do you want to go, right? Because we can keep it nice and cool and crisp. Like this. Yeah. Just to cool it down a little bit. Okay, and you can reduce the brightness up there and that sort of thing, but real quick you can see how we kind of just freshened that, cleaned up that background, and you can go, you know, you can reduce that. That's at 50%. You can take it down to like 30% if you still wanted more of it, maybe 40. And then just the color of the skin, just to freshen up the color of the skin a little bit as well. Just to clean that up. Okay? But that's not bad. So Tony was saying about his 3D software. Yeah, handles animation as well, but it's a bit slow. Tony says no, it's not cloud. So it depends on your GPU you have. Okay, so it's slow. Okay, so if you have a faster rig, then it's gonna be good. Yeah. I feel with around the lights. Okay, just use select subject. That's what I did. I used select subject. Yeah. Hey, no worries, Mark. Yeah, all good, man. Oh, you just joined in. Perfect timing. Yeah. Quick question while I'm here. What color would you paint a 4.5 meter by 5.5 meter home studio? I think it depends the work you're going to be doing, Tony, but just white is going to be the easiest, right? It is going to be the easiest. There is certainly arguments to be made for painting it mid to dark gray, you know, because smaller studios, it's easier to manage the light when it's not bouncing around everywhere. So, you know, if you're doing a lot of colored gel work, then, you know, like the side walls, you know, couldn't hurt to go dark gray, mid gray even, just because it's going to help to control it. But 4.5 by 5.5 is pretty big. Depends on how low the ceiling is as well. You just got to think about the light bouncing around. But white is just going to be the easiest, and then you're not worrying about color contamination or anything like that. I mean, there are people that go, you know, dark gray, black for their studios because they just want it as a dark box to then, you know, you got really high ceiling then, Tony. Yeah, so you got loads. You're not worrying about bounce light like that. If you, I mean, that's a decent size. That is a decent size. That's, you know, I think you'd be fine with white. And if you needed to, just get yourself some black polyboards or black V flats. You can make them yourself, and just have those. So white on one side, black on the other side, and then you can use those to bring in if you need to. But with that sort of space, you should be fine. Yeah. So we've got a noob over here. This time we're full blown with the lamps. 4 nanolite Pavo tubes, 2 nanolite Pavo slims. So the slims are the panels, right? These are the new nanolite panels. The original idea was to have super warm background near windows and cool foreground, something like fire in the middle. Now where an only warm light would be around the fire. But upon taking some test shots, flipped the color palette and added existing lamp to the shot. Okay, so what this one? I'll take it this is the existing lamp. Fog machine did quite a good job to scatter the light very smoothly, mix all the light sources, and overall contrast was removed. Matte look in dark. So you're talking about like the heavy shadows were removed in post, you mean? Yeah. Okay. Jesus. Okay. So these are the panels, yeah. Pavo Slims. Okay. Fancy. Okay. We've got a video here. This better not be naughty. And Uber, don't get me banned. Okay, so we've got the slims, slim there and there. So we've got the Pavo tube on the sofa at the back there. So this is the blue one here. Is that the reflection we're seeing there? The strip there, and we've got two there. Oh, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a reflection of this. Ah, okay. Hey, nice little spot in there as well. Nice, love to see it. Good job. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So that spot is just on her in the foreground. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. What colour is that spot? That's the orange on her. So it's just that bit there. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it works, man. It works. Yeah. Thank you as well for the very detailed BTS. Yeah, it works really well. Yeah. Oh, this makes more sense now with the... I was kind of like, she's in the middle of the room, but she's perched on something. I was like, what's going on there? And now I've seen the BTS. I know it's the snooker table. Okay, that makes sense now. Okay, gotcha. But I think you've done well to maintain as much, light in the room as possible here. I quite like the fact that you just have a tube on the sofa here. Is kind of cool. Yeah. We've got a white here as well, an orange one here, just rested. Okay, yeah, looking good stuff, man. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. And the video as well, spoiling us, mate, spoiling us. Man. Vlad will be adding a video next time. I'm just saying. Lucky Bill. It's all LEDs. It's all LEDs now. That's it. Hardly cost anything. Yeah, not like it used to be. Wibbly. It was like, you are right though, the old tungsten lights just used to cost so much. You're right. Yeah. In fact, studios used to charge it, like normally studios would be, if you're just in there as a strobist, like studios just charge you a day rate. But yeah, if you're in there with tungstens and that sort of stuff, it would all be they'd give you an additional bill. Yeah, it's nuts. No colour bulbs in those light shades. Oh, in the in the lamps up there, right? Above the I guess you could have used those, couldn't you? I suppose you could have done. You are right. If you would have put bulbs in there, that could have, because they're not in shot. That might have been interesting, actually. But now it's too late, so it probably would have looked shit. Don't worry about it. It would look bad. It's a terrible idea, Steve. I know what you're talking about. So Sterling says, had the model lay on the floor, placed 2-foot wands and 1-foot wand on the floor next to the white backdrop. I used complementary colours with the wand so it wasn't all in one colour, providing additional visual interest about a foot away from the model. I used one complementary colour from the wand so it wasn't all one colour. Okay, so we got the purple and the blue from opposing sides, yeah. Had her lean so she was facing the lights. So she's not lying down. The fabric is iridescent sheer fabric. It was a really cool series. Plan on experimenting more with the fabric. That is nuts, actually. And more with the fabric and other overlays. Did a vignette around the edges to increase focus. Yeah, good idea. And face, lighten the face touch as well. Did a little contouring work on her breasts to make them pop a little bit more. Soften the warm, just a touch with a lot. Okay. So we can kind of see the catch lights here off to the side. So is she lying down? I can't work out. Well, she's leaning. I mean, whatever. It's working, man. Yeah, it's working. I see we got this nice glow coming from the side. Kind of nice as well that it's not It's not hitting her face here as much, so it's actually not under lighting. So, and you've actually managed to get the highlights in a good spot as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool idea. And the iridescent fabric is a nice touch. Yeah, nice idea. I've never really seen it before. Could be interesting. It looks like it's a pain with the creases and stuff though. Is it because I presume it's like fabric, but it's also got like plastic? You can see where it's got in the shines and stuff. Yeah, yeah. It'd be difficult to keep that perfectly wrinkle free. Good idea though. Yeah, it's nice. And I really like your idea of actually having the so the light coming from one side and then the other. So keeping her separate in the middle there, and that also helps with the like the folds and stuff, having a light on one side and not the other. Nice touch. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, yeah. It looks naturally retouched as well. Nothing stands out. Yeah, yeah. All right, we got a few more here. Let's crack on. So we got David's one here. Finally happened. I took the plunge and got the first real LED light. I'm officially a NAM bro. Unbelievable, David. Betray me like that. This is the first shoot using a new light along with an antique LED panel I've had for years. I use for video. I decided to try the new light with one of my go-to setups. The new light with a reflector is outside the window and the LED panel bounced off the ceiling camera right. I even made it more challenging by making the room smaller by hiding the door and breaker panel on the wall with a room divider. That's a good idea, man. Diffusion filter on the lens. Nice. Okay. I don't even know who you are anymore, David. Like, whose is this? Did you get somebody to make this? This is good stuff, man. So we got our spot outside coming through the window, curtains open. See, this is clever, man. This is clever. Like, I've got room dividers as well. This is what Dave's talking about here, are these room dividers. So you just fold them up, put them behind the door or something when you're not using them. But like super useful, right? Because what he's done is he's turned this corner, which has got a door and whatever crap and stuff on the wall here, and he's just effortlessly hid it behind there. Like you'd never know. Just whacked a plant there, job done. That's good. That's clever, man. Yeah, it's good. And then he's got an old LED here behind to camera right. Even alternate camera angles, like it. Got just a regular lamp. Oh, this is bouncing off the ceiling. Nice. Okay, so it's coming down. Yeah, I like that idea. It's just filling in these shadows, and that's a good balance, right? We've kind of spoken about this before about this shadow light, or just filling in these shadows, and we've done a great job here with this. Nothing too heavy in terms of deep shadows or anything like that, and a light outside. Dave, are you still here? I'd be interested. Like, have you got anything on that dish that would soften that light, like a diffusion gel or something like that? Have you got anything on there, or through a scrim or anything like that? Just because it's a touch hot. You are still here. Yeah, it's just a touch hot on the actual face and stuff here, just blowing out the highlights. Do you have anything? Is that just bare bulb through the window, or is there something? Do you have a sheet of diffusion material that you could put on the other side of that window, just to soften that up a touch? Yeah, I actually do. Didn't think of it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you've got, you can buy it on Amazon for like 20 quid. I've got bags of it here, but it's super useful. You just throw it up behind a window, and it really helps just to stop any sort of blown highlights and stuff here. Yeah. Diffusion sock for reflectors. You could do that. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. Ideally, you would just put you would just hang it over the window. But yeah, if you can't do that, if you're up high or whatever it is, then you could just put the sock, like a beauty dish sock or something, over that dish would help. Yeah, as long as it doesn't get too hot. Yeah. I know, Anuba. Yeah, you're collecting your Nan Bros. This is like nuts, crazy. Can't believe it. Disgraceful. So this is kind of interesting. I just maybe you're just warming it up just a touch for me personally. You don't have to do this. I'll just kind of giving it a little bit of a glow. Nothing crazy. And I love this foreground element, but I have to know. I have to know. I have to know what's behind there, David. I want to know what's back there. And I'm about to find out. Whee, there we go. That's actually not too bad. Like, that's actually not too bad. Because now we could bring in the God rays. You know, we could really get in there. Nailed it. Nice. I think you could probably even get away with coming in even closer now. Right? I mean, I don't want to take all the credit, but no, it's good stuff, Dave. It's always good stuff. It's always good stuff. Yeah. 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 I did see that. That's true. What was that? A giant. What is that, Dave? What is? I did see that. I just kind of brushed over it, but yeah, you're right. What on earth was that curly whirly thing? Yeah. Yeah, good stuff as always, man. Yeah, the only thing I would say there, in all seriousness, the only thing I would say is just to, just whack a sock over that, just to avoid that harsh blown out highlight there. Yeah, good to go. I would kind of just warm it up just a touch, based on we have, the aesthetic of sunlight coming in. I think you can afford, to kind of warm it up a touch. Yeah. Did you see the hand with the curly whirly? Yeah, the hand with the curly whirly is something special. Yeah. It's nice, isn't it? I don't know what that is. Anyway, look, I've got to go eat something in a minute, guys. Come on. Stop mucking around. I'm not sure I can make it for the live stream. I saw you in it, Damon. You're good. Yeah, would appreciate any feedback on the color grading, which is it's very little in that picture I used to project over the background, and 3 EOS 2 for light the person. Okay. The background image is created in Midjourney. Oh, nice. Okay. Great use of it. Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? If you're looking for, rather than using the stock image, actually make your own background image. That's good stuff, man. Yeah. Before we get into the color grading, I think, in terms of the actual lighting itself, it's good stuff. We've got really strong separated light here, Damien, which is really nice. Here we've got really strong, clean pockets of light here. Really nice sections of light. And, really strongly separated by that blue in the middle. Good stuff, man. Yeah, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Nice, texture and stuff here, looking good. Looking to be high enough. Light's not too low. Looking good. Yeah, lighting is bang on, man. Really good stuff. Especially when you've got an arm coming across the face like this, you still manage to get this great light on the face, and you got catch lights in the eyes. Nice, strong, big specular highlights here. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. All those workshops paying off, mate. That's it. So look, the only thing, like, there really isn't anything wrong with this in terms of the grade, right? I think you've matched it pretty well. The only kind of thing you could kind of look at is to kind of make it feel a bit more organic, is to kind of darken it down, because we're supposed to be at night, yeah. So and that's the vibe from behind. So we can, I think we can kind of darken it down a little bit, and it feel a little bit more organic, right? I mean, the other thing you could try is the lens blur. Just to whether that will help to make this a little bit out of focus. Remember, if you're projecting it, you can defocus the projector, so it'll help to kind of sell that depth a little bit more. Oh, it is doing it. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, like the rest of it is looking good. I don't think. I mean, you could kind of play around with the grade a little bit here, just to kind of darken down the blues, to tie them together a little bit with the background. But again, I think it's pretty good. You know, again, I'll do the same with the reds here. Just want to dial it down just a touch. And again, I'm only doing this not because it's wrong, but because he's supposedly in this, you know, background nighttime scene, right? So we want to be a little bit more realistic with how punchy some of these colors are. You know what I mean? So just knocking it back a little bit so it's not quite so studio lit. And that's just what you're going for, you know? But otherwise, I think it's really good. Yeah, really good. Yeah. Cyber Rembrandt, yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice. Yeah. I haven't had a curly whirly in forever. Yeah, I think there's only a handful of people in the room who know what a curly whirly is, and no, it's not what you're thinking before you say anything, David. No worries, Damien. No worries. Thank you for sharing it, man. I'm glad you're able to catch it. Yeah. We've kind of already spoken about this. Wibbly says here, lit with a couple of Godox 80, 600, 400 lights in octas. Also experimented with some AI retouching tools by Retouch for Me, which we've kind of chatted about. The skin and dodge and burn models were extremely impressive and a massive time saver with one click. Leaned into the orange color grading, which seemed to work well with the white garments. Yeah, so we kind of spoke about this earlier on, right? About the Retouch for Me thing. And yeah, I think that'd be, you know, huge time saver, because they seem to get you like 90% of the way, really, from what I've seen, especially when you can dial it back, you know. So I mean, yeah, I mean, if you've got a bunch of images to do, then why not? And again, like the grade here looks good. I mean, this, like the skin, I think looks natural all over, which is actually harder to do than. Or people overlook it. What I mean by that is, like, we have the same skin tone like throughout, so she's not like blotchy and pink down here but warmer up here and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, overall it's looking good. Yeah, nice clean lighting on the face. Yeah, no heavy pockets of shadow or anything like that. I mean, it sort of leans into the whole painterly look. It looks good, man. It looks good. Good stuff. Yeah. Ordinarily, I might say that the skin looks a bit over retouched, but I think it kind of works in the painterly style that this feels like it's part of. You know, like the skin looks just a touch there, but I think it works because of the, you know, the style that we've got going on here. It's good stuff. Yeah, nice. As always, good to see it in there again, buddy. So Peter's got one here. And I used a projector for another projection background, and 2 Godox 600 lighting for the person. The background image is created in Blender 3D. Interesting. Okay, so, you know, Damien was doing something with Midjourney. You're doing it with Blender. This looks way more involved in the background, and I guess that's something to think of, Peter, as well. Is it's kind of difficult, right? So you spent all this time with this background. Do you then want to knock it out of focus? You know, it's kind of difficult to do, but at the moment, you know, she is taking backstage compared to what's going on here, right? All this stuff is in focus, whereas she's got this mysterious kind of pattern effect thing happening on it, which I don't dislike. I'm just saying it's something to think about. Do we want to make sure the focus is her, and then kind of make sure that this is kind of knocked out of focus a bit more, you know? And you can use that blur tool that we just kind of played with there. Yeah. And then thinking about, you know, tying some of these colors together as well. I don't know how much we can do with that. So again, just kind of looking for that kind of cine look here. Let's see if we can't do something with. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get, because we got this weird green color on her there. So what I'm trying to do is bring it more into the like without, because now we've gone this crazy color, but it's the only way we can kind of get away with bringing those two colors into the same. Do you see what I'm saying? So she's green here, yet it's blue back there. So we can bring them together, but at the cost of changing the background color. Now, if we wanted, we could kind of tweak that a little bit, but we could come in here and so here we could, in the selective color, we could kind of target and bring these blues back a little bit more. Because the goal is to try and bring them into the shot with regards to the background and foreground and that sort of thing. And I don't want to make it all about the background. Even though that background is absolutely incredible to have made that in Blender. So let's see where we were. Do you know what I mean? So just trying to tie them in a little bit more and try and give it more of that cinematic vibe, as opposed to it being, boom, you know, popping off. And then you could, let's just real quick do this. Let's just see. I don't know whether it will do this. Where is it? Camera raw. Yeah. Let's see if it works out the background there. I'm just curious at this point. Whether because it may just go, oh, that's the background, or whether it will go more out of focus there. Oh, it is definitely more out of focus back there. Just for the sake of it, you know. Okay. Yeah. That works. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. What I was trying to get across about trying to separate them, or bring them together. Sorry, not separate them. And then lastly here we got Robbins. I struggle quite a bit with the black latex in some of your setups. I did the gelled softbox behind the subject. Okay. Also the black velvet worked the best, and then went wide and did more traditional background with color and space. My real struggles was making black latex shiny. Any tips? Can I just zoom in on that? So what, we've got two softboxes here either side. Is that what's creating this? Or have you got black velvet behind with this coming around? Is that what's going on there? You'd have to explain what you're after. So I think what you're saying is that you're using the technique that has the black velvet in front of the softbox, right? So basically, you've got a softbox behind, you've got the black velvet there like that, and then you think you have the glow coming around. Is that right? I think that's what you mean is happening. So this is looking good though. This is looking really good. So there's a couple of things that are going on here that you may not be happy with. One of which is probably the flare. So that is most likely down to the lens. So one way that we can do that is use a prime lens, use a longer lens, so i.e. less glass, zoomed in sort of thing. And make sure there's no filters at all, so no UV filters or anything like that on the lens. So, and that will help to get rid of some of this flare. Yeah. Also, be thinking about the size of the softbox as well and the gap. Okay, so the gap between the black velvet. Try different amounts of black velvet gap. But I mean, if we ignore the amount of flare that we have here for a second, I mean, we have these beautiful beads of light on this latex. I mean, it's looking really good. Yeah, and these highlights here, beautiful highlights on her face and stuff here. So without kind of knowing exactly what you're after, I think this is looking good. I think this is looking really good. The only thing you may be annoyed with is the flare. Maybe something you're trying to rein that in, and that would be one way to do it, right? Is to shoot on a prime, have a step back, longer lens, if you can. Make sure there's no filters or anything on the lens at all, so there's nothing that's going to be refracting light as it's coming in, and if need be, bring that black velvet out a tiny bit, maybe smaller amounts of light creeping around the outside. But I think I've actually really like those shots. I'd be interested to see what you do with them and where you take them. I could definitely see you could do something gorgeous with those, because you're still getting the highlights and stuff up here. No worries. No worries, Roman. All good. But yeah, mention it in a following post or something like that, Robin, or next week we can share a shoot, or even the next live stream or something like that, if you catch it. Yeah, I'd be interested to see where you end up taking these and what you were kind of not happy with. But this is looking good. I actually really like what you've got going on here, because you're not lighting the model, you're kind of looking at these reflections, and we have these beautiful beads of reflections, which are the reflections of that softbox on the side of her. I think it's looking really cool. Yeah, it's good stuff. So guys, what an incredible batch of images again. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all those. Absolutely tons. I mean, we've gone 3 hours now. My dinner is cold, thanks to you lot. It's no trouble. Don't think about it. Obviously, don't forget my online workshop's still a thing. Okay, check those out, and the mentoring and that sort of thing as well. So they're good. I've got another couple of workshops next week with some of you as well, so I look forward to those. Doing some feedback as well, some portfolio critiques and that sort of stuff, so that's good. Check those out, have a look. But yeah, as always, look, thank you so much for people who are sharing images. It's incredible to see the caliber of work being posted. It's absolutely outstanding. I mean, I'm just humbled by the sheer level that you guys are at in here. Look, everybody starts somewhere. I get it. It's absolutely fine to post pictures of your dog in the garden, but I feel very, very privileged to be going through such high quality images from all of you. Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff, guys. Fantastic, and thank you so much for for those of you taking the extra time to put in BTS and videos and all that sort of stuff. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, guys. Thank you for that. As always, pleasure hanging out with you guys, and hopefully we can do another 2 weeks. That should be the Christmas stream. If anybody's got any ideas as to how to make that even remotely interesting, that would be cool. But yeah, we shall do this again in a couple of weeks. All right, guys, take it easy, stay safe, speak to you then.